No,
Two
it's two
CLs.
pro, one CL.
Yeah.
Right, okay. We'll see how the time is, but if we get time, I'd like to have a look at some of the first round draws and see what games are, look like they're going to be good. Obviously, especially my player pool, we see if we can get Rand's and yours as well.
Are
Have
they
they?
up? Are they open?
I don't think
I,
they are because
I
they
don't
haven't
know.
rolled over yet. They're not. She'll just preach is the only one with a schedule started. Now,
Um,
it's possible some way mid conversation they could roll over because Preach was talking about rolling season over at some point today, but
so we'll see.
I'll keep an eye on it as I flip through.
Yeah, where are we starting anyway?
What's the other pro team? It's first four, and what's the other pro West team?
I'm not sure. Let me just center my camera. It's not centered. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I agree with that. Stolzy's on. Hello, Stolzy. I'm still hearing that feedback.
What's the feedback? What are you hearing?
I'm hearing me and somebody in my headset.
That's weird because I have a head.
How's that now?
Is that better?
I don't know. It's very faint. I'm wondering if it's my camera because that's got a microphone on it too.
You could try muting the camera there.
I
So
don't
do
know
we
how
want
to.
to start with Iron League or first four?
Yeah, that's going to bug the crap out of me, guys. Let me just find the leagues.
Is it too early to start celebrating Halloween?
Yeah. Turn my Twitch down.
Right, so where are we looking at going, did you say?
Well, first four Iron League. I'm sort of familiar with more of the first four. But I can start with looking at Iron League now.
First four, and is it
First four is really
DW?
the first one in. Yeah, it's first four DW, and then Iron League.
We'll do the
and
first four then.
Okay.
Let me see if I can turn the microphone off on this. Yeah. Share a board test, because
Deep ones and the rolling ones.
Yeah, the funny thing is, the pool that I know the least about is my own.
That's CL for you. That's the CL for you, really.
My team's it's got the couple returning that was the other pool, but from our pool last year, I think of the 8 teams in our pool, I guess a couple of them from yours went over, but Fire Talker got promoted. You were in the other. You went east. Magoo and Fire both got put in the pros. Doctor dropped. Right, from the 8 teams last year, it's really just Carrot, me, and you that are even in the CL.
And you're not in either one of their team.
And Carrot's in mine, but right, that's it. It's very. It's not a lot of guys like Magoo, Umphrey's in mine, which I'm looking forward to, because I've never played in a pool with Umphrey, and because he's always been in the pros. So I'm looking forward.
Umphrey's in the pros. Wrong.
Not Umphrey. Oh, Momo. I don't know why I always get the two crossed in my head.
They're like the same person.
for Stolzy, look what are we wearing today?
Whoever the others.
That's for you, Stolzy. I didn't have a Hawaiian shirt, but that one's for you.
I could put on a Hawaiian shirt, just no one would know about it.
I'm not even wearing a shirt.
Well, I could do that, but we'd lose viewers rapidly. So what we'll do, we're gonna start with F4DW. Give me 1 minute. I'm just gonna grab a glass so I can have a drink while we talk crap, and then we'll make a start.
Okay, so we're starting right. and the pool that I'm most excited about in the pros.
I don't know. I thought that, and then I looked at the other pool, and I'm like, holy crap! Both these play pools are stupid awesome.
I like them both because they're West teams. Like I think I know more of the coaches there. At least I've interacted personally with more of them. Like I know most of the coaches. Being I guess my third season now to a little bit of degree, but the guys that I just see the most of are almost all in the
That's
pros
why.
now.
That's why I went east so I could meet some people.
This play pool's pretty. Who's the other?
Drunken Monks asked, was I in the corner for my other shows? The first one, no. The second one, yes. I picked this up the other day. Just because I thought it'd make it a little bit more personal for you guys, so you can watch me sulk and cry when my vampires lose miserably and eat my entire own team.
I'm thinking by the 7 people in the crowd that the notification went up on the.
Well, yeah, there's going to be people that have followed. I think Joe Fro's the only one that's subbed at the moment, so anyone that wants to do that is good. The people that follow will obviously know about it, and it'll fly up, I would have thought, in broadcast at some point.
No, that's still not linking properly, right?
Well, if you click on the screen and the picture, it does. The MML review, that's already popped up, but the top bit hasn't. So I need to speak to Joe Fro, not Joe Fro, Preach, and say, you know, it needs the dash after my name, because that goes somewhere else. So part of it's right. He's got the link right, but he's got the written link wrong. But it's up. People are aware of it, so I guess we'll look at making a start, shall we?
We're just going across top left to right.
Yeah, we'll start with the rats in the top corner. So this is the one. Who said they was? I didn't catch who said they was excited for this one.
I did, Doom. First of all, it's the Canadian pool. It's got 3 of the Canadians. I think all the pro Canadians are in this one. You got Beers, Tarn, and Stu. So you know, local.
Stu's
Canadian.
not a real Canadian. He's basically French. Okay.
we in Canada value our French Canadians quite dearly. Okay. I quite like Quebec as a province, actually, and he's from Montreal, which is really pretty much English Quebec. So some would argue that's the least French part of Quebec is Montreal. It's where all the people from the rest of Canada go to enjoy Quebec and ruin their language.
Okay. So we're starting with these rats, huh?
Let's go. Let's have a look.
These rats have been around for a long time.
Have they?
Well,
I know they were in the CL a few seasons ago.
Well, let's see how long. Let's have a look at their overall win-loss, as we do with everybody. Try and get a feeling for them. 32 wins, 9 draws, 32 losses. That is a long time.
So he played what? He played some undead, but I mean, these guys have been around since like season 6. I'm pretty sure, maybe earlier. I don't know, but they've been around for a long time.
Well, that's 70 plus games.
Let them come back.
You know, take out of it, or if you chuck in even if you chuck in a couple of games in a farm and a couple of, I don't know, playoffs, that's a good 6 to 10 seasons that he's got there.
I just know the one year they were in the CL, I put up my best scoring game and lost because of number 5 there.
Let's have a look at number 5. Gutter Runner.
Man, the myth, the Sinji.
Oh God, this team's another team that could be in the cripple league too. I mean, they're all crippled. He's got a lot of crippled people.
Yeah, but you only need Sinji and 11 loners, and you just one turn and then just
hope you don't die.
What I find,
even if they're loners, who cares? But
what I find interesting, you've got the Storm Vermin who's out. He's a great piece to have, but he's still got a Roger, and for me, Rogers are great in tournaments. They're great in one-off games and such like. They're arguably too expensive to start off with, and then later on in life they become very bloaty and
Didn't you
they
know?
cost
This
a
is the
lot.
season.
He's
This is the season
because
of the
he's a block
Roger.
roger.
Yeah, I think this is.
You get a
No,
block
it's
roger,
just-
he's worth keeping around.
This
And
is the
Larue's
season
a
of the
lot of them.
Roger. All the rats are bringing Rogers.
Hmm.
Pretty sure Gerd's team, which we've already done, and MTV's team both had Rogers.
Yeah.
I think a couple of them picked them up in the transfer market this season. I mean, Gerd won 2 MML championships with the Roger, so
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure most, if not all, of the rat teams in the pros are going to have Rogers. So.
But from what I understand, Gerd could win the championship with just a Roger.
Yeah, probably. But that's beside the point. The point I'm trying to make is that the rats have been communicating together, the rat coaches, and it seems to be they all are bringing Rogers.
First of all, it's a rat swarm. Let's be specific here. The swarm of coaches.
Yeah, well, they're disgusting and should probably we need to get cats back online. Did I say that? Anyways, Rogers are a thing apparently, and everybody likes them now. And I think this one might have been a transfer in this season. I'm not positive. I know.
Well,
coaches
something jumping out at me. We've got a couple of injuries, which happens. The big one for me are the minus armors, and I believe there's a niggle there on one of the guys. We do have a Hawker cam now. We do. The big thing for me is the armor downs and no bank. 11 players, no bank.
I don't get why that one guy has not been retired.
Yeah, I mean,
he'll just come in as a journeyman, and to be honest, it's better than Mr. Squeak. The coach must just like him as a mascot, but they're not benched anyways.
Preach was saying yesterday.
Maybe he's got feelings towards him, so.
Well, Preach was saying yesterday that he becomes a target, and some people will target him, stick two players to try and remove him, which then could potentially pull. It's a distraction. It's smokescreen. Pull them out of position, and then pull them out of position, chasing the soft target, which is him arguably. The Apo won't get used on him, so it's a player gone. I've always made a point where I'll target line rats and linemen because then they won't use the Apo, which gives me the numbers advantage. Once I've got the numbers advantage, it's key players like catchers, dancers, gutter runners, and all the rest of it become easier targets. But you're almost saying, I don't want you to use your Apo because this guy's crap. So people are going to target him knowing that he won't use the Apo, knowing he's a soft target. Meanwhile, that's 2 people out of position, giving gutter runners the opportunity to do what they got to do. Maybe.
So keep him off. So you don't think he's going to be just a sacrificial line of scrimmage fella? He's actually going to be.
He may well be.
Saying, hey, blitz me. Get your SVP.
Almost, yeah.
Waste your blitz on a injured lino that I don't care about.
Because let's be honest, this guy's running 2 throwers. Why I don't know. For me, 1 thrower, it depends on the setting. In a tournament, it's largely a leader caddy. I can see the purpose for him in a league team, but 2 throwers, I can't see that. I don't understand that personally.
The one I think is doomed to be replaced. Well, actually, that's the only one. I don't get why that one. That armor.
Well, this is it. Ditch that thrower. Ditch that thrower. Take a loner. Build some bank, and then when you're ready, buy 3 or 4 rats at the same time. Because a loner's as good as anybody else in the line of scrimmage. You know.
And that's what I'm thinking for the other one. He's armored down. Even if he is just going to draw that there for the hit, he's better than 2 carries, right? He's going to let it's still a less likely piece to get removed. Yeah, he's 2 injuries. He's double injured.
Yeah.
But otherwise, again, this is a good team. Like again, the other pieces,
the
pieces that matter are really good. You've got the natural one-turner Sinji, and he just one-turn. Like unless you have tackle on the corners there, like if you're unless you're tackle spamming. And really defending against the one-turner, it's almost impossible to stop him.
Yeah, you're relying on.
You don't need the pushes, so you can't even do the columns. You have to go up across the bottom, and you got to put a tackle here and there. But it's again, he scored 4 or 5 one-turners on me, and I just scored 2 turners back, and we just kept slinging it.
Yeah,
but you just can't stop him.
Yeah, you can't be
Um,
chasing that. 55 touchdowns in 69 matches. The
got a strip
guy's,
ball leap gutter runner. Or is it
which is
long leap? Long
phenomenal,
leap
yeah.
leap? Yeah, so cage diving, ball stripping,
Wait,
gutter
long
runners.
legs and leap, and Agi 4, he's a Kislev.
He is a Kislev.
Yeah, I mean, the team has got, it's the
So
backbone of the gutter runners and the storm vermin that make the team. You could chuck in a thrower for extra, giggles, but the backbone is there and it's solid. He's got obviously a rookie storm vermin in there. The other one's going to have to carry the weight for two, and I think he's more than capable of doing that. The Roger having block helps a lot. He's got a nice foundation team. Line rats come and go. Any rat coach will tell you that. Loners are as good as anything else when they get smashed in the face. Which brings us back to those 2 armor 6 pieces.
yeah. Other than that, good team. I can do.
I like it.
Definitely not. And he's low. He's coming in there. He's gonna get inducements. Although that's probably because he's got 230, not counting right now. But
Well, even with that 230, he's still only like he's still
he's the second
getting
lowest.
wizard in a lot of his. Yeah.
Yeah, he's 18-20, where everything else is pushing 19 plus.
Other than the last team we'll get to.
Yeah.
That'll basically give him a wizard against most of the teams.
Or an Apo.
Half the team. A wizard or an Apo versus half the teams.
Yeah, and let's be honest. Give
bribe.
Yeah, give him a wizard and you win. Because he'll stop your drive. He'll stop your drive. He'll score on his one-turners. Keep scoring his one-turners. The only thing I don't like about this team is what we also like, and that is the one-turner. Because if he becomes reliant on that player and loses him, he's on the field from the beginning. He can't hide. If he loses that one-turner, what's his go-to gameplay? Has he become too reliant on him? He has got the tools.
He's a rat. He doesn't need a game plan. If his one turn dies, he can still score in one turn.
Yeah.
Or 2 turns at will.
Yeah,
but
no, I know he doesn't rely on them.
Which is a good thing.
He'll set up his stuff, but he will use them because why not?
But it's like the other gutter runners carrying that niggle. So in any game, if he gets those 2 armor 6s, if we see that niggle go, especially his first game of the season where he hasn't got the his number 1 to help out, he could be in a little bit of bother quick.
The one thing I'm seeing is like, and I haven't looked at the teams, so just looking at what teams are out there. Not a ton of bash.
No, I did notice that, but you're looking at high elves. This chaos. Dark elves would love to have a bullying games. Dark elves bully like the best of them when they want to, especially against the weaker opposition. Your wood elf and your skaven. That's where they can excel. They'll do everything the skaven can do agility-wise. Granted, they don't have the pace, but once they get the ball back, it's like, fair enough, you scored. I'm now going to beat on your face for a while, pick my targets that I want to pick, rather than hit what you stick in front of me. Well, we'll look at the Dark Elf team and see how equipped they are to deal with it.
I think they got a decent play pool, but
yeah.
I think they have if they get, if they don't die right away, I think they'll have a pretty good season. So.
Kind of skipping ahead, and I'm noticing I think we're going to see a theme in this pool that's similar to one of the previous pools we're looking at. Because
are we talking about Cripple Cup? Are we looking at the Cripple Cup?
I think we're looking at the Cripple Club. Because I'm already looking at Baldwin's, and although he went 7-0, I see some injuries.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should probably get moving on to his anyways, right?
Yeah.
Let's go. High elves it is.
On these undefeated high elves that missed the playoffs because their coach went on vacation.
Well, let's have a look at their statistics. It shows 34 wins, 18 draws, 24 losses. Very impressive. 150 touchdowns scored in that time. That's good.
No, yeah, he scores.
Yeah. So what we're looking at?
Pretty. I don't like high elves, but this is a pretty good high elf team. Like just looking at it.
Well, this is it. He's got 170 in the bank, which is nice. He's down a blitzer. The other one looks very helpful, very handy. He's got all the tools you need on him to dish out some pain. And that's the sort of player that those rats are not going to enjoy facing.
No.
I mean, even his linemen are just stacked. They look like they're positionals.
Yeah, and that's the thing I said yesterday. I think it was with the Dark Elf where he had no skills on linemen. Linemen, in my experience, are the hardest ones to skill up because they will sit there on the line. They're the last people you block with because you don't want to take the risk. They're not the ones that are scoring because the others are better positioned to do it, or they've got the range, or whatever it happens to be. So to have a pool of linemen like that is my hat goes off to him.
It's crazy. Yeah, he's got a skilled positional players in lineman
Yeah.
clothing and lineman pricing.
Just looking at them now,
This
and
is a pretty long-running team too, right? Like this is
yeah.
Oh yeah, they've been around. They've been around for a long time. I wish I could pull that. Maybe I can pull it up. We can see.
Now it can't be the original Divas. The Divas have because they're only at there's what 70 games here.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
guess that's 10 seasons. That's 10 seasons plus whatever, like minus whatever was in the farm. So yeah, I guess that's still pretty long time.
A lot of the older teams though, you'll see that none of them were in the farm. They all came in at 1,000 TV and have had all of their SPP come from the league. You know.
yeah.
So,
Which is impressive.
yeah.
But what I like about this team is it's nicely developed, as we know. You've got bludgeon or wrestle dodge, strip ball tackle, lineman. The linemen are, like you say, positionals arguably themselves. It's almost a shame which ones you stick on the front line, but he's also got a bank of 170, which he's prepared and ready for what the season throws at him.
So
He is
the
getting
Divas,
2 JMs.
the Divas started in season 5 in the CL, and then season 6, season 7, season 8. Season 9 Pro, and then he skipped a season. He didn't play season 10, or the Divas didn't play season 10, and they came back in season 11. So
Yeah, still season 2 journeymen. So those are the two. He's gonna put 2 journeymen in the line. So it's really probably the 2 journeymen, and then the. I hate putting a guard piece up there, but why not? You can put the guard guy in the middle. It sort of protects him. They're blodge. So.
man, so yeah, they played most of their games, 67 games in the league.
No legends yet, though.
He went to the season 13. He went to a season 13 bowl. He would have went to the season 14 playoffs, but he missed it due to vacation. And he won the season 11 championship, or he played in it. I don't know if he actually won it. The CL championship, and then he was in the CL playoff season.
They're definitely a tasty looking team. The only thing is, like you say, they're waiting on 2 journeymen, so that's 140k plus the 1930 we pack in there. He's just shy of 2200. Sorry, 20.
I know he's pretty
2100.
high on his he's pretty high on his TV.
He's a cap, and then all his bonuses. He's max. Like with the 100 max bonuses. I think he had to trim 20k off somewhere.
Yeah.
Just to get in. He was saying that. So.
Look, he cut a reroll. It looks like
It's only 20k. He could have cut that out of his bank, but that irrespective, he's in a healthy position. Depending on how it evolves out, he's giving away inducements, but that team I think can deal with most stuff.
Well, if he's home, he's giving away a wizard anyway. So what are you going to spend your inducements on?
But this is it. It's almost like I know I'm going to thief.
Team, so
yeah.
He's got Mighty Blow, but he's not a bash team. He's a score team. So what are you going to do? You can take a star player, maybe a hot pot. Like you don't. Elves don't care about rerolls. They got them built in for any action they're taking. Right. The only thing they need rerolls.
Sure, all his guys have rerolls on dodging, and he's got his pass reroll, his catch reroll. He's got his block on everything. Everybody has block or wrestle. So he's like, I don't need rerolls. I'm like, what? He's like, whatever, you know.
Yeah, like it's double skulls and that's about it. Alright. So
double ones, double skulls, you know, which double ones will matter with the reroll anyway. So
built-in rerolls anyways. Like maybe if you're dodging out of a play with tackle.
Yeah.
Right. That's it, or some weird play, something like that. But no, again, there's a reason he probably went undefeated last season. I think he's going to be probably the top.
We only did Stuff and Junk's team, which I'm actually going to go look and see how long the Ratlings have been around right now.
Yeah, we missed. Beers is saying he missed the start. We missed out on some rats. So while you're having a look how long they've been around, should we have a little look at the Necros?
Season 4. The Rats have been around since season 4. That's crazy. But they took 4 seasons off from season 9 to season 13.
Another team that's just stacked to the gills.
All these teams are stacked. This whole play pool stacked.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch every game that Twitches if I can for this pool.
I'm gonna say before we start on the Necromantics, I'm gonna say that they beat Gerd in the playoffs. Just the thing.
Well,
they got high hopes. They got high hopes now.
Well, I'm looking at the Necromantics, and they're racking up 39 wins, 20 draws, 27 losses, which is very impressive. That's almost 50% of their games has resulted in a win, almost. And again, this team's got vast amounts of experience. It's got the odd casualty you're going to get, but we're talking zombies with skills now. Well, that's just ridiculous.
Yeah, he's just this. If you haven't read the Hopeless Necromantic stories, like he's got, I think, he's been around since seasons. This team has been around since season 6, and I think he's gone through like 8 wolves, 8 maybe 9 wolves. I don't know. I don't. It might not be that much, but and I feel like it's been tons. His wolves come in. He writes up all these great stories about these wolves, and then they die.
Yeah.
And then he brings a new one in. He brings a new one in, gets a story all built up, and then it dies.
This is a team that has players that people know the players. Like Sleepless in Seattle is one of the top players. Like it's a player that people know by the player name.
Yep.
Right? Like there was Veggie Oil for the Wood Elf, and Greased Up Deaf Guy. I'm trying to think of other players I can name. You got Irish Car Bomb. Shots' team, but there's not that many players that I can name myself from that stand out to me as stars in the league.
Yeah.
Right. And
Sleepless is one.
Legendary status usually get if you get hit legendary status, you usually get there again. Senji on the Rats, but again, I don't know him from other people talking about him. I know Senji because of what he's done to me. Actually, I think he went legendary against me. But. It's not one that talks about. People talk about Sleepless. People talk about this. So this is a team with players that people talk about the individuals and just being so good. And this is another team that's got star players, like players that have history. Triple
Stolzy's saying Salute came from the High Wings as a transfer in.
Was he a transfer in, or he's a zombie and he came in, the old zombie?
Oh, he could be. He could be.
Yeah, he was a zombie.
Because High Wings being an elf team, I don't think
no
trade zombies.
That might be it.
I think,
they did trade in one way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
I think
They just didn't get anything back
Cheeks
except for a blood patch.
He got zombied.
Cheeks used to be a player too, the other zombie. So just a couple things about these guys. They've lost their first bowl game to Rodentia ad nauseum, and then they won the McMurdy's Famous Bowl in season 8 against Rodentia ad nauseum. They made the playoffs in season 9, season 12. They made the playoffs in season 14, and then they also made them in season 6. But they won. They went to the. Looks like they lost to. Oh, in season 12 they lost to Gerd in. It looks like the finals. And then this season they beat Gerd, and then lost to, was it Laser? Was it Laser or was it? No, he lost to Bill Cower Power Hour, the bench champs.
So if he lost to Bill Cower Power Hour, and I'm only seeing one missed next game, he did okay.
Yeah.
Listen.
Yeah.
And it happens to be his best player. He's not going to be around for the first game of next season, but
I do think
pretty good outcome.
Yeah, I think they've got enough to cover for him. Looking at what we're seeing in front of us, nice.
I think this is a solid
nice
team.
Yeah,
Just
is
has
that better,
built this team.
Stoltzy?
Sorry.
Stoltzy
Just has built this team, but I don't know.
This is another solid game. When we have to pick winners, I'm gonna have a really hard time. I'm gonna say it right now. We're 3 teams in, and I think any of the 3 teams we looked at, The Rats probably, because they're a little beat up and a little stuff there, but this or the Elves could win it. And I
Yep.
haven't even looked at the other teams, and I know the other teams aren't going to get worse. So,
Well,
I just want you guys to look at number 9 real quick.
let me just
That
go and
is
have a look. Let's bring him up
that
on the
is
screen.
a former. I don't know if you know if you can see the name. I don't know if you can read, but
The Broody
pretty obvious
Beastman.
what. I'm pretty sure that's a misfit, a former misfit.
What he's had-
I'm sure Beers could confirm that.
He's
Yeah.
had 4 games.
Yeah.
Beers, do you want to tell us anything?
Because the misfits and the necromantics play each other a lot.
Yeah.
And, it's always fun to watch their games. So if you haven't seen one, you should.
Well.
So I plan on watching pretty much all these. And I think that's a pretty good transition to go into said Misfits.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh yeah. Are we into the misfits? All
Now
right,
that
here
the
we
next
go.
one's up there, I think that was a perfect transition there. Again, another deep team, another team that carries history and
Well, they started in
been around
season
for a
6
while.
too.
yeah, they've been around for a while.
I mean, season 6 seems to be a theme for this play pool.
Well,
they-
these guys are packing in with 29 wins, the 19 losses, 19 draws, 28 losses. So again, a massive handful of games played. So we've got a lot of experience in these first 4 teams.
Well, and he's also been to, let's see, he 1, 2, 3 bowl games. He's only won one of them.
Yeah.
The McMurdy's.
Oh, Stoltz is apparently we're reviewing Stoltz's favorite team in this poll.
Well, he's a chaos. He's a chaos brainwashed chaos player now. So
Yeah.
obviously he's going to be going after the chaos teams.
He's on the wavelength now of get claws, point and click.
Instead of Agi 4 point and click.
Yeah, but you run the risk of dying that way.
Yeah, I'm looking at this team, and it's just built like perfectly in my head. I don't know. I'm not a chaos player. I am a nerd player, but I'm not a chaos player, so they are maybe a little different.
Yeah.
But I like these players. I like these skills. Ulo with his the killer Ulo with his niggle and a movement down. I told Beers when the niggle happened to get rid of him, and he's like, nah, never. And he's still around. So he's only 6 points away from being legendary too. So
The one
Which is
thing, and I
a
know
good
Shots
reason
is
to
saying
keep.
is a bunch. Shots is saying there's a lot of former players on here, but the one thing I'm noticing that I'm pretty sure Shots would agree on is this team is lacking tails.
he's got
There's only 2
two.
of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's getting more. He said the next level ups for a few of his players are going to be Tal. I think he said.
Tails.
I'm pretty sure he said Ulo's getting a Tal when he hits legendary. If he ever hits legendary. You know,
Well, I think he will. He's not far
highly
off
likely.
it.
Yeah, probably going to happen this season if he stays alive.
Yeah, and I can see the other killer, well, he's arguably a better killer, is Protege in at number 9. He's going to,
Yep.
I reckon, get there eventually. And you got Billy One Eye Willie as well. He'll claw his way up there. Excuse the pun.
I will make a mention that Beers did use his Minotaur for many. I think at least 3 or 4 seasons with this team. He had a Minotaur on him, and then he finally died. But yeah, so he is one of those guys that likes to use doesn't fire his players. So these guys will probably be on the team until they die, which is
Yeah.
what he's got, you know.
Which is nice.
When they
It's
get-
nice fluff.
When they get this level, it's not the trade-off. I think if they get an early injury, it's get him off the team. But when
Look at
you
his
get
ball carrier.
Which one are we
His
looking
ball
at?
carrier's his ball carrier number 10, Kettle 1. I was saying ball carrier because it's got sure hands, splodge, extra arms. It's Agi 2. Okay.
with sure hands,
Sure hands, Agi 2, which extra arms makes it Agi 3 basically.
Yeah,
But
with a reroll.
he's not gonna be dodging out of anywhere to try to run away and score. If
No.
he is, he's got a 50% chance to fail. You know?
You'll notice that he's a little on the roids, so he dodges with his fist.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
punches
Yeah.
his way out.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's the dwarf dodging technique.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it stops like the cage divers, especially with the rats and elves in his pool. It'll be harder for cage divers to knock him down because he's so strong. You know, they're gonna be
Yeah.
jumping
Well,
in
those
and
cage
not.
drivers are okay with are going red anyway, so I don't know. But
Yeah.
we'll talk about that high strength leader ball carrier later on as well. But it's
I just
like
like I
a lot
like
of them are
the
strip ball, wrestle, tackle, and they're like as long as one of the two isn't a skull, then it's good for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, this is it. You got wrestle, and you with strip ball going against anything. It doesn't matter if it's uphill or not because there's 70% chance. I think is you being okay. As long as that skull don't count out, you're good. And if that happens, the ball's
shots.
popping loose.
Shot says the ball carrier's replacement has already been farmed up, so we might not see Kettle One next season on this team, or if he is, he'll have a buddy with
protege.
him, so
Yeah.
yeah.
He'll switch from ball carrier to punchy
Basher.
blodger.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he's only got 11 players, so like not. See, that's the thing is, I don't know if this is long-standing pro teams, other than Jests, Necromantics. It just doesn't seem like benches are a thing for most of these teams.
No.
I mean, and it makes sense for the Necromantics because they can get free benches and they can also regen. So it makes sense that they have a bench. But these teams that don't have that are lacking in benches.
At these TVs, you have a hard time because you have to make cuts. You have all these guys that are floating up on the salaries, right? And you can't keep a bench and this many high payroll players, right?
And also, am I right in saying, or has it changed that the spiraling expenses have well and truly kicked in here? So it's starting to hit your earnings and hit your bank.
And like that's gonna make it hard to bring in like if you want to replace one of these high ticket guys with, let's say, the next up and coming guy with a similar set of skills, but maybe a little beat up, a little less rough around from a few seasons. Your team's gonna have a hard time going after free agents if with the expenses that your team is carrying, paying these guys salaries every game because they're getting bonuses now basically, and it's going to be tough to get up there. They get 7 games, but there's 3 or 4 of those games could very easily not net you any money.
Yeah.
Your league any money, right? Budget's an issue when you get up here. You can only fit so many guys in a stadium to sell so many tickets, and
yeah, no, I hear what you're saying, and I agree.
That's the thing. So yeah, there might be a transfer in the wings, but will they be able to afford them when it comes around to that without cross trading? Selling a player, but there's not too many league sales because you don't want to give a really good guy, right?
No, this is it.
Sell down to a farm team. A pro can't go be sold out for some coin. So if he doesn't win a lot of games and get some good,
winnings,
revenue. Again, that's gonna be the case with all these, and that's again. I'm gonna say I'm in that club this year too. For this is my first time rolling something where I'm gonna be paying firing expenses. So that's my concern. That's what I'm thinking about. These guys have been thinking about this for a while. So
am I right with the current rule set we're playing that the sparring expenses will only hit your gate? They won't hit your bank.
That's how I've always understood it, but it's never triggered to me personally yet.
Yeah.
So, but I believe you're correct. It just means you get a 0 revenue game.
Well, I can have a.
So,
go on.
I don't. Yeah, I was just gonna change the subject. Sorry. Continue.
No, well, what I'm going to do is I've got a rule book here. Whether Blood Bowl 2 Cyanide is more shots is saying is pretty sure that you can lose money. And whatever ruled edition they're using, I don't know. But I can have a look in the actual rule book because, as displayed,
I know
everyone should have a book nearby. So we'll see what they say.
If you can lose it in Blitz, you can lose it in this. So it's the exact same system.
Yeah.
So you can lose money. Okay. I've never experienced it, and even in Blitz, I never had that come up. Maybe I just wasn't floating money when I lost money, so you can't float any negatives.
You can definitely lose money. That's why, that's why I've been baking. But it's a thing. At least. I'm almost positive it's a game.
Any star players on here that we need to bring up before we go to the next one?
What I want to bring up is the fact that all 4 of these teams have had 3 or more players with stat ups. Some of them with 5 or 6. I want to know what this is. We saw another pool like this yesterday in the East, one of the pro pools. I want to know what they're feeding these guys and how they're getting so many stat ups.
And more to the point, where can we get some?
Teams.
Yeah, where do I get mine? I only have 2. Okay, where's mine?
Yeah.
They're probably also maybe bringing some in, I imagine.
Transferring in, yeah.
Your team plays enough season, gets enough transfers, and you start getting those unicorn teams, right?
Watch this. Just wait till you see this next team. Wait till you go to the Dark Elves.
Oh,
okay.
I know. I know Longhorns from there.
Let's do the Dark
Elves. Right, Doom? Like
yeah, they were in our play pool.
They were in our
when my
12?
first year with the Norse, and yeah, your second.
Well,
so it was my first season back. My first season back with Plague Inc.
Plague, yeah.
Well, these are packing 29 wins, 29 wins, 4 draws, 45 losses. Another bucket load. That's 70 plus games. Again.
And this, I mean, his coaching style is smash face. And look at how this team is built. This team is built to, which he's playing elf, so it doesn't always work out for him. But he is not afraid to base. He's not afraid to charge at you. And he's got the players. Like that witch elf is insanely annoying and awesome.
Bloody Thorn, I assume we're talking about.
Yeah.
The legendary Bloody Thorn.
Yeah.
Now she's packing a movement loss, but she's gained a movement.
Yep.
Okay.
Which is always
76 games. 9 years career. You can't fault that. 41 casualties. Yeah, she's a very sweet piece.
But again, this is a team. Again, it's down to 2 JMs, which again is fine. You got all these. You have to put somebody on the line, so some Roy players in there. But
I do want to point out number 11 real quick. Just look at number 11.
The assassin.
The assassin.
It's an assassin. There's an assassin on the team with the pros. Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
Do we not like assassins?
There's the assassin for me is
pretty sure they're useless.
If don't get me wrong, if you've got an assassin and you're playing Armor 7, they can potentially control the game. I've played against one with Wood Elves that actually totally dominated the game and ruined everything.
So how many Armor 7 teams are in this play pool?
But this is it. But largely speaking, this guy runs up to somebody, stabs him with a butter knife, and then gets his face caved in.
Yep.
What's that about? He doesn't even have a skill to help him out, defend himself. Eventually, you're going to give him dodge, which might help a bit. You might blodge him up, which is fantastic. We're going in the right direction.
Multi-block, man.
Multi-block. But you get to use that once on line of scrimmage against some rookie that doesn't know to put them 2 squares apart, and then you never get to use it again. Then you come up.
Work with multi-block?
Yeah. But you can't blitz a multi-block, so that doesn't work. And then you come up with this great idea. Yeah, you come up with this great idea. I know what I do. I'll leap him into a cage, and then he'll stab you with the butter knife. And that doesn't work, because the Black Orcs, or the Orcs got armor 9 or something. And it's like, now you definitely get your head caved in. And it's just, if for an assassin, the shadowing's, his movement's 6, you couldn't catch a shadow in the sun, this guy. It's just
yeah, he's
for the cost value. Yeah, for the cost value, I mean 90k, he's 20k more than a Wood Elf, for example, and yet he's slower than the Wood Elf. Make him movement 7 and all of a sudden shadowing becomes a little bit more viable. Give him something, give him jump up in there with him because of what he's got. I don't know, give him to me, I know we're getting off the subject of the team that we're looking at onto a particular player, but the assassin is arguably one of the most lacking players in the game. I think he's chod. Personally,
I've say definitely he's more flavor than he is substance.
Yeah. I've run Assassin before in a Dark Elf team. I managed to get him to movement 8. Then he was starting to get very sweet with shadowing. He was blodging as well. So now we've got a nice piece. But it takes a marathon to get him there. Because you're not going to feed him touchdowns because he's too slow. You're not going to pass him the ball or give him the ball because other players do it better. He's almost becomes into the team as a liability. When you think you've got 6 positionals, the core and the backbone of only Dark Elf team, your 4 blitzers, 2 witch elves, that leaves you, 5 players on the pitch to do something, and you're not going to stick him on the line of scrimmage, so that leaves you 2 players left. One of them's going to be a runner, possibly, probably, maybe, and they have massive value. I personally like running with 2 runners. I can't see where an assassin fits in.
Yeah.
That's just me. Bring back the days when they could have a Minotaur.
Is he the highest strength in the pool with all these roids?
Possibly, yeah. He has got 5 of them.
Is he at strength in the chaos? It's gonna be, I guess, Nurgle.
No, the chaos has got strength 5 and a strength 4. They got 5 or 6 that are above strength 4. So
they got a strength up on Beastman. Oh, he's got 2 strength with Beastman. Okay, yeah. Oh, 3 actually. Okay, so not changing. But he's up there. He's basically as strong as he's basically a vampire team.
Yeah, I mean, I like the look of this team, but you can tell he likes to base and bash with them. And I learnt the hard way that Dark Elves are the bashes to the elf teams. That doesn't make them a bash team.
Yes, they are. I mean, he's just an aggressive coach. He really is.
Yeah,
and it works. It works with Dark Elves a little bit, especially the way he's built his team. I mean, most if this is weird to say, most of his team, or half his team, is strength 4.
Yes.
Half his team is as strong as yeah, I don't know, it's crazy.
It's potential to be nice, really is. His core team, the Blitzers, the Witch Elves, are looking very pretty. They're looking very sweet, but they're carrying injuries, and that concerns me.
Everybody's carrying injuries, apparently.
Yeah.
To the 420 elves.
I don't even want to talk about these elves.
No one loves Stu.
Where are we going to?
Down talk them.
Stu, where's Jofro?
Imagine that.
Well,
stat up galore.
This guy's probably the least experienced team we've seen with 22 wins, 15 draws, 16 losses. So he must be the first one that hasn't played 70 plus games.
I'm gonna go look and see. I know Stu was on. Was it What Else for a while? I don't remember.
Yeah.
Stu was on something other than this team. These guys came into the season 10. They've only been 4 seasons.
Yeah. But look at this. Okay, and I'd like to point out as well. Again, you said this division is both, or play pool is both the Roid division and the Cripple division.
Yep.
Right?
All
where the other one
once.
was all Roids and all Cripples. This one is all both.
Yep.
With the exception of Beers, I think Beers didn't have any Cripples, but...
Yeah, he did. He had 2 niggles and a movement down. Yeah. I think they all have 3 permanents or more, and they all have 3 stat ups or more in this play pool. This play pool is going to be insane to watch.
Yeah, an agility
8 on this team alone.
Switch is just horrendous. Agility 6 on that guy. I don't know why you would ever put agility 6 on a thrower. I suppose it helps. Does it help with the longbow? Let me just work this out. I don't think it does. I don't think it does. Well, the magic number 7, according to the way the book, depends on how Cyanide works it, but if you've got a 5, that means you pass on a 2+. If you've got a 6, you still need a 2+. Because one's always fail.
Go into more tackle zones and still need a 2+.
Yeah, I think it's to do with pickups. But even then, pickups is still agility roll. Then you add in a minus in. So if you've got a tackle zone, it's your agility roll -1. So agility 5 is a 2. and then it's -1 onto that, which will make it a 3.
You're
Agility
not- so you-
6 is still a 2 plus, -1, which makes 3. That's the way it
But
should
that's only
work.
if it's 1 tackle zones. What if you're going into the middle of a cage where there's 5 tackles?
Well, this is the thing with the death roller and break tackle. It's the same thing. It counts as if his strength, or maybe it's agility 7, but it's your agility roll. Then you do the add in and minus in. Now a 6 doesn't pass on a 1. He only passes on a 2, on a 2 plus, which is the same as agility 5. Which I know sounds a bit odd, but that's the way the numbers work. So agility 6, I'm not sure if it has any actual purpose.
I don't think I think it does in Blood Bowl too. I know that with my, I don't know actually. I've never actually had an Agi 6 player because I don't play teams that need Agi 6 players or because
No.
they even could get an Agi 6 player.
I mean,
But I'm pretty sure. Obviously, all these elves always talk about Agi 6, and I think it reduces running into tackle zones or running out. I don't know.
I will
sure.
look into. I mean, an agility 5 beastman with 2 heads, that has purpose because the agility 5 is 2 plus, and then the 2 heads gives +1. Whereas agility 6 is still a 2 plus because 1s always fail because the magic number's 7. That's the way the letter of the rules is written. How it implements into this, I don't know. But agility 6, as nice as it looks, I think it's a bit OTT. I don't know how it works on the throw-in. It'd be interesting to see.
I'm just looking at that obscenity. That guy, strong and then fast enough and quick enough and agile enough to get into the cages without much effort. He's getting in the cage on the 4 plus and punching your guy at strength 4 pretty easily.
Yeah, he's sweet. That blitz is very sweet. Now he's got all the purpose. Like you say,
Yeah.
he can knock the ball loose. He can dodge around to his heart's content and do what he's got to do. He's lovely, absolutely lovely.
Well,
Another good team that can do very well against got
Yeah.
do things.
And he's got all his positionals. He's got his 2 blitzers. He's running with 3 catches. Is that 1, 2, 3? Yeah, 3 catches.
he's got a strength 4 catcher. Jeez.
Yeah.
A movement 9-1. Like he's got. I don't know. He's got some good players on this team. It's a lot of quick, fast, strong players. It's kind of insane.
Yeah, I'm just looking here, a bit of research, and it's saying strength agility 6 when passing the ball is exactly the same as agility 5. So whether it affects pickups, which it shouldn't do because it should work in exactly the same process. So for those that are out there, those that do play elves, that's something to consider if agility comes up again when you're agility 5.
Shouldn't it add like if there's an extra tackle zone? Shouldn't it wipe another tackle zone out though? Like
No,
picking up or
it
dodging in?
doesn't work like that. If you've got agility 4 guy, we all know he dodges on 2s. Well, that's not true. He dodges on a 3, but if you dodge into an empty square, which you can't dodge into an occupied square, so you always dodge into an empty square, you get +1, which makes 2 plus. So if you're agility 5, then you dodge on a 2, but you get the +1, which is irrelevant. So if you dodge through a tackle zone, you dodge on a 2, -1 for the tackle zone, but +1 for the empty square. So that's the bit that cancels out, not your agility that cancels out. Does that make sense? So if you're agility
Shots at all the
6,
faces, guys. Good. Sorry.
yeah, Shots is saying he's got the agility 6, so when he gets agility down, he's still got agility 5. That works for
I
me.
love it. We'll keep that. That's a good way to.
So yeah, so it's all down to how Cyanide interprets what it should be compared to what it actually is. I might run some tests on that at some point, but it's worth considering for those Wood Elf coaches or any elf coach out there that can get to agility 6 as to what and if and all the rest of it. It's the same with the death roller and break tackle. Being strength 7 is irrelevant because it's the same as if he was strength 6 or whatever, which is interesting. It is. I mean, it's interesting. A lot of the time it doesn't come up, but if it's a choice, and we're talking about micromanaging and TV management, you know, he would have been better off. Let's have a quick look at this guy. Open him up and have a look.
Long or strong arm.
He's got
Strong arm.
he's got pass, he's got safe throw, he would have been better off with accurate, because accurate gives you +1, whereas agility 5 and 6 should be the same, so he gains nothing from it. And yet he would have saved himself, what, 20k? Or is agility only 30k? No, agility is 40k, isn't it? So yeah, interesting.
I like how we just told Stu that you made a mathematical error and we should just be ashamed.
Well,
basically,
according to Stolzy, so it's not me. Hashtag no clue Stu.
I mean, that hashtag now fits. Oh man! All right, before we insult Stu anymore, maybe we should continue on to the next team.
But yeah, but
Let Rand have his way with Hez.
he has got some sweet players.
Yeah,
Right.
the team looks great.
So here's the question, Rand. Are you going to praise him because he's Nurgle, or are you going to rag on him because he's Hez?
I guess we'll find out when we start this next one.
This gross-looking Nurgle team.
Right, let's have a look at their stats. 14 wins, 8 draws, 8 losses. So they're not, in comparison to the rest, very experienced. So this will be interesting.
No, they were in the CL last season, right? Last season, or the season before? Last season. Made the playoffs, all that jazz. Now they're here. They're very compared to the rest of this. Compared to the rest, like they're a 1900 TV team. But if you look at how many stats they have compared to the rest of the league, the rest of this pool, I feel like they're undervalued or under statted up pretty much.
Because he's got one.
So I was gonna say this is the first team without. It's got only one stat up and no injuries. So it really hasn't been fitting the theme of the rest of this play pool.
Yeah, he doesn't really fit. He doesn't really fit.
Shots will sell you, and he's already said it. Is that people are overvaluing stat ups because some players are better with skills because you get more skills. Per
yeah, but
TV.
he still doesn't have more skills though. That's the thing is he doesn't have a lot of skills. No.
He's got block guard. I don't know. We don't want to do stats, but his warriors all have at least 2. He's got the one with 4. His beast is going into dots and has block, which is nice on the Nurgle.
Hi Von, how you doing?
My beast has blodge, so.
Davo's.
Well, I haven't looked at the dots of this one here, but good, decent pestigores. Again, he's got a lot of snip. So any AV9.
A lot of snip.
You know.
Yeah, he's got the 2 Pylon guys, which I mean, I guess he's coming into this cripple league with some players that can help cripple them further.
Well, if I can just interrupt you two gentlemen 1 minute, Andy Davo's just brought a whole bunch of people across from his stream, so thank you very much. We're doing a rundown of the MML player pools. We're about to start our new season, and we're running through one of the pro leagues. So thanks for joining us. We will be streaming games I'll be hosting games, I'll be playing my own games obviously within the league. So thanks for joining us, and stay around by all means and let these 2 Canadians carry on talking about Nurgle.
I'm not quite a Canadian, thank you.
You're close.
You're closer than I am.
By a lot.
Well,
By a lot.
to be
I'm
fair
on the border,
though,
basically.
being British, we both have the same person on our money. So arguably, you might be more Canadian than. Just saying.
Or you might be more British than Canadian.
Well,
Who knows?
I'm half British technically, but
Okay, so I don't know. I just feel like this team is not gonna. It's not as thick as the other teams in the play pool, but you know, if it had a better coach, I think it'd also do a lot better than it will do this season. So.
I think with this team, it's looking nice. It's looking ready to go. The trouble is, the other teams bring a different edge to it. They look. We can tell they're a newer team based on the fact that there's no injuries on them, but they also lack those legendary or star players.
He doesn't have any tackle in this play pool that has a lot of agi. There's
That's
three
true.
elves and
He's
some
gonna
rats.
struggle
He's
with
got
that.
no tackle. That
Let's
could be rough.
bring up that somebody was saying it looks like a bit of a scary team. They've missed some of the others, so while you guys are talking about it, I'm just going to flash up. There's
Hey,
our
Melagod.
that's our high elves. Which one was the stat increased filth team of let's have a look at our dark elves.
The
Dark elves, but
yeah, that's
I just don't think he's ready for. I don't think his team's quite ready. If he had some tackle, maybe, but I mean,
yeah.
we'll
Flash up
He's
some of
gonna
these
run
teams.
into trouble versus the agility teams. I will give you that. But if this was the division I'm in, which is obviously CL, not Pro, but if he had that sort of play pool, I think he would do very good because of all the snips.
Yep, Bash Pro. If he was in a Bash play pool, but he doesn't have a lot of bashes. I think he'll do good against the other two bashes, but he'll struggle until he gets tackled. He's not. He's close. He's close on a couple to where he could get some tackle quick, but he's not that close.
No, I think he's good. It's a nice team. Looks great on paper, but like you say, I think it's not geared for the agility teams. Now, when we go back to, we've got the Skaven, we've got the High Elves, we've got the Dark Elves, and Dark Elves like to bash, but they can also hopefully change it up. More Shots is saying that he's got his claw will work on 80% of the other teams, so he should be fine. The trouble is, some of those other teams are working fine on him. So it'd be interesting to see. Hi there, Glow.
The thing with Nurgle is that their built-in defenses. The fact is, there's the disturbing presence. It's gonna hurt. Obviously you can get around it, but it's gonna make the Agi teams have to work a little more to get around the Nurgle annoyances.
In fact, Glow, while you're there, I'll be 1 minute. You keep going, guys. I've got something to show Glow.
I guess I was going to keep talking about Hez this year, so we could go on to Tarn's team.
Well, I just realized he has the security gate for his stadium enhancement too, so that'll be not a bad thing for Nurgle getting knocked over.
I don't have the stats up either. But yeah, I think they'll struggle, but I think they'll do okay. I don't think they're going to be the bottom.
See,
I don't think he's going to be making the run.
I think he's slower. I mean, he's the slowest team, right? The slowest team in the pool by far, the slowest, and he doesn't have these skills to stop his other players. I don't know.
But Nurgle's a defense team, right? They're not about the scoring, so it's hopefully if his defense holds up, he can shut down, maybe go for some draws and whatever. Again, is he one of the top teams? No, I think the top three teams.
Melagod has a point. He's given wizards to a couple of the teams, well, at least to the rats and to the humans.
Well, Hez is saying he's going 6-1. Hez is saying he's going 6-1.
I think he's dyslexic. He meant 1-6, but
well, maybe
2-5, but
well, maybe he should put some money where his mouth in. A donation to the MML if he doesn't.
I think he'll do okay. Frank likes to rib him. I think he is a good coach. So
I give him a bunch of crap. He is a good coach. I don't like the guy. He's from Kentucky. He can go away. All that. But he's a decent coach. Okay. And the team's Nurgle, so I gotta go for him. But I just don't see them fitting too well into this play pool for this season. So.
Well, before we go on to the next team, I know Glowworm's popped on. We got the Euro Bowl coming up, and Glow, this one's for you. They're there. I don't know if you can see it. Is our ref shirts ready for the main event? Name obviously on the back, the Euro Bowl logo. So they are here waiting for you, Glow, when you're ready. Glow's helping me with the reffing, so fair play to him. So a shout out to Glow. Thank you very much.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So let's jump onto our final team of the pool before we make some predictions. Manchester United.
Yep. Which I'm going to tell you right now is based off of Tarn's tabletop team. So this is not, although this is their second team in the MML, although obviously not exact port because different level ups. He's been playing the humans for a while, so he's very comfortable with it. So they were an early call up. They were a mid-season call up not even mid-season, to the pros last year. He started off 2-0 in the CL. So when when Stoltze dropped out, they took the one with the best record in the mirror division, which happened to be him because he went 2-0, popped him in. So he's I think that's hurt his development.
Yeah, he's up at 7 wins, 2 draws, 4 losses. So he's not played many games. It's impressive.
I do want to say he fits really well under the cripple league and the stat freak. He's got stat freaks and cripples, so he's fitting into this play pool very nicely.
I think because he came up early with an underdeveloped team to the pros, it kind of slowed his development. He obviously went against some very good teams last year. Again, he was in the pool with Laser. He was in Gerd. He tied versus Gerd. So I just want to throw that out there.
That's impressive.
OP Gerd.
So if you pull a draw against Gerd with an underdeveloped human team, you're not out of it. But
yeah,
they're humans. They're versatile. I think again because his TV's up a bit. He went in around 15. He's got 1,700 sitting injured right now. So he's sitting at about 18, a little shy of. So he's closer this year than he is last year. Humans are versatile, so.
After his ogre comes back, he's got a bench as long as he doesn't meet up with Nurgle game 1 and get killed. You know?
Yeah. And the ogre's injury is nothing big. I mean, he's a bit slower than most, but he'll sit in the middle and mind his own business.
If he gets the money, I think his next year target should be. If I was him, if he's going to keep an ogre, I would go after a bloger. Get one with block. But,
yeah.
Or I would look at this. I want to point out he's got a strength 1 catcher.
But he is agility 4.
Yeah, I don't know if that really makes up for the fact that it's going to be 3-died by everybody.
It is. He's got to look after it. I think
halflings can 3-die it with 1 assist. I'm not saying he's playing against halflings, but I'm just saying anything can 3-die those guys.
In a team, he has got another agility 4 there, but in a team like this where something like agility 4 is quite a precious commodity, he's just got to look after that guy and look after him properly.
Mello, you don't like humans? You were telling me humans are a better Norse. What do you like? Come on.
That means he must really hate Norse. So
he's in the CL. Or the Clatter. He's come across my Norse a few times. He's been a gentleman with giving me lots of tips when I do silly things. So, but he was telling me Norse, they're just lower AV humans. So.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, all he really plays is Nurgle, so you can't really say much.
So what we want to know, without pushing you guys too much, is let's look at the player pool. Who's winning this?
I can't make this decision.
Well, you got to call one.
I think you have to go with the Divas just because they went undefeated last year. I think they're still tooled up. They didn't get beat up, and they can do it again this year. I think the Necros could be a close argument, and even Stu's else are going to be in the run. But it's Baldwin. He went perfect in a tough pool last year. Nothing really got beat up because he chickened out of the playoffs. He didn't get beat up there by shots. So I think he's gonna maybe not go perfect again, but he would be my favorite.
Yeah, that's Doomfrog.
And Rand.
I
do not see. I don't know. I think the Divas have a worse season. They probably still make playoffs, but I think Jess has been on a roll the last couple seasons. The Necromantics have been playing really well. Going deep in the playoffs. I'm going to go with the Necromantics to win it.
I want to say hello to RJ for joining us. Thanks for joining us. I'm going to agree. I think it's going to be High Elf 1-2, and I think it's going to be the Divas and followed by Stu in this. I really do.
Sorry, you said who's going to win it? Sorry,
I think the Divas are winning.
Diva,
yeah.
But I think there's a couple that can go anywhere. So who's the dark horse? Like who's the one that could go
the wild card? For me, it's easy. It's the Dark Elves. No, the Dark Elves.
Nah, the Necro.
If he's aggressive, and he's got a good team, and if he gets a little bit of luck and a little bit of, I don't know, things to go his way, I think he can win a lot of games and go. So.
Ooh, hang on a
I'm gonna
sec.
look to see how close some people are to leveling up here before making my pick.
I might just change my mind. Hang on.
I'm about to anger Rand with my pick for the dark horse, I think.
The Hez?
Nah.
The Hez?
I think Hez is the dark horse. I think he's a good coach. The only thing he's missing is the tackle. If he levels up a couple tackle before
he's not even really that close to leveling up though, and I don't know if you realize how hard it is to level up Nurgle players that don't have claw, mighty blow, block, which he has 4 of them, but they have to be able to knock players down in order to get leveled up. And I mean, unless he plays Chaos and Necromantic back to back, like right off the bat, and get some good SPP, I don't see it being a.
Stoltz is saying Jesty.
I'm going with the Necro. I think they've got the ability to deal with what they need to deal with. That's my shout.
I don't think they're a dark horse. I think they're a top 2 like easy contender. I don't think.
Nah, see, I think the 2 ILs are running away with it. They're my 2. Yeah, I do. I think.
That'll be a boring play pool if they send 2 high elves to the playoffs.
So who's finishing bottom?
The Canadian stew.
Who's finishing bottom?
I don't want to. I mean, I don't know a lot about Tarn, and but that team, I just think it's not ready right now.
Yeah, I agree.
It's a bad play pool.
He's going to get lots of inducements, which could help him out, but this is basically where he was last year, and he just hasn't had a chance to. And it's tough to develop if you get the early call-up. Again, if it had been me, I would have said, can I turn it down? Because I feel it stunts the team.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to win games.
Mello, you're right.
I agree.
Right, so.
I agree. So, where are we heading next, gents?
I actually think that this team has a chance to be relegated, and I don't mean to be like he's a bad coach or anything. I just think this play pool is just too stacked.
I think that's the thing, and he came across that last year. The only thing he's a good coach. I'll tell you that from my playing him and just doing that. And he held his own against more developed teams last year, where he kept the games close. He wasn't getting blown out, so he was doing an admirable effort. It's just really hard to do anything. Where with that being constantly down, like inducements don't get you SPP; they just balance the game you're playing.
Yeah.
So they make it for closer games, but if you don't have equal teams to go up against, what did I just do? It's a good thing I'm not a mod on this, or otherwise I think it would almost just delete the league.
Well, I think we're going to our final CL pool, right? Next?
Yes.
We're going to
UGC War.
Pool.
The most boring. This is going to be a yawn fest to watch all these games. Just going to be a squad of bash me.
So Mello's going to heard me when we're talking our Clatter game. You're talking about my bloaty Norse, so details.
Guys, so we're gonna come back. We're gonna do a mid-season thing. We're gonna come back and check it. Don't worry. We're definitely gonna keep up on it. I will admit when I'm wrong. When I know I'm not wrong about you, as you're probably gonna take second to last. So.
You're my dark horse, Has. I think you'll do fine. Not great, but you'll do fine. Okay,
right.
So we're looking at Momos.
Yeah,
Necros.
I'll tell you right now, he's already my favorite to win. I know that's something we go to later, but we'll just call back now, just because for 2 reasons: he's Canadian, and he's not me, and therefore he's guaranteed to win.
That's your whole philosophy on all of this.
That's my whole philosophy on this. Which actually I should have voted for Stu to win. So just because of that.
Right. Well, he's packing 18 wins, 9 draws, 14 losses across his career with his team. So it's in the positive.
Did they play in the CL last season? Yeah, they were in the CL last season, right?
Yeah, he's.
I think so.
It's looking like again. Where are these guys feeding their players? They're roided up. They've got doubles all over, and it's just why are my players not getting this treatment?
Didn't you know that the farm is now patty cake league where you don't get to foul and don't get to claw other players. Oh, did I say that? I'm sorry. That's going to start a whole other thing. Let's not get into that. Anyways, so we'll continue on with this team. Yeah, they're pretty. Yeah, they got pretty well developed in the farm and came into the league pretty well off. Looks like he did take some injuries. He took an injury on a pretty decent white.
Yeah.
Last game of last season. But I mean, this is a farm. This is one season CL and mostly farm team.
See,
look what it looks like.
I've found out why I've got no stat ups on any of my players. It's because Stolzy says I farm crap. But when I played him in my first game of last season, I did alright. I don't know if you know that.
You did all right. Yeah, I don't know if I heard that a few times last 3 days. You've been doing it.
We love Stolzy. We love Stolzy. No, this team does look tasty. He's got the right sort of hitting. He's lacking a bit on. It's a bit light on guard. So it's only a zombie. That's interesting.
He's got plus movement on 2 whites, Mello. Both his whites have plus movement, which I agree. I'm not a big fan of plus movement on the whites. But I guess movement 7 over movement 6. Yeah.
Movement's what makes a player good. Again, it's why I hate playing against Skaven. It's like, oh, those gutter runners are blitzing into doing things, and they're strength
as a Nurgle player, I just laugh at your movement. Like, who cares? Okay, I'm gonna trumble on down. Okay, you don't need movement to win.
Especially you think with a white, there's a lot he can take to make him valuable. You've got obviously your mighty blows, your tackle,
doubles.
your guard.
Especially if that was doubles too. Like,
Yeah.
Not that you would take, not that there's many doubles you want for a white, but I'm just saying, like, I don't know. I just think there's.
I don't know.
2 movement pieces.
Mello's
Put
saying
a scoring thread out there. They hit speed. I don't know. I never turn down speed. 6 to 7's a good jump. I don't know if I would go 7 to 8, but 7's.
7 to 8 is massive, mind. That's making them a much more reliable one turner.
I think movement 8. Yeah, movement 8 is what you want. Like, if you can get a movement 8 piece, which he already has one. His werewolves are all both his werewolves. He doesn't have a white. Does he not have a ghoul on this team? No ghouls.
So maybe they're the ball carriers now. I mean, Mello pointed out here that guard, mighty blow, tackle, piling on. I'm not sure whether I'd pile on with these guys when you've got killers in your walls, because they will just be better at it.
Guard, period. There's no guard on this team.
But this is it. That movement 7 is 2 guard pieces, which I think would bring more to the bigger picture.
Well, if you look at he's got a mighty blow, tackle, sure hands, white. He had a midlife crisis and changed where he was going halfway through his development. It was like, oh, now I'm going to be a movement. So the movement on that one might not seem such like a terrible idea because he's got sure hands as before, cool. But the mighty blow tackle kind of seems like, oh well, what are you doing with that?
and I think I know you picked this guy because he's Canadian and not you, but I think his lack of guard is going to hurt him in this play pool.
He's also, I think, a pretty good coach. So
yeah, well,
he's a good coach, but he's in a bash play pool right now, and I guarantee you we're going to go on to these orcs that we have in this play pool. You're going to see a lot more guard. You're going to go on to the Norse, and you're going to see guard. Yeah, you're going to see way more guard.
The Norse, actually, there's like only 2 or 3 of them.
Well, let's.
Guard, jeez.
Our orcs are packing in.
Norse will get easy.
And then I'm already eating my words because our next orc only has 3 guard. Like, come on,
and he's packing
team in here.
A little over 50% win ratio as well. But again, more injuries bringing into the player pool.
So, are we on to the Colorado Celt and his goons?
We are.
I don't like this team strictly because in season 13 they beat me in week 7 to kick me out of the playoffs, and then he went to the playoffs and went on to the pros. But now he's back in the CL, so I have a grudge against this team. So it's that.
It's an orc team.
We like a grudge.
I don't think there's anything in here that jumps out non-orky. You got a pretty good thrower.
Well, he's got like 5. He's got 5 black orcs. Okay, that's pretty.
But he's got
or 6.
He's got 2 fairly well developed throwers there, and for what purpose? Why would they ever want 2? Accurate, pat, agility, kick-off return, sure. So okay.
Why not? I guess.
because
why not? I guess, you know?
They're
You're
sure
right.
hands,
You're right.
you players. They're good. They're both good for picking up the ball.
He's got a fend
You keep
tackle.
one off.
Maybe one's a defensive thrower. The guy I'm looking at now plays on defense with fend and tackle, and the other one is his offensive thrower with the kick return and accurate. Who he's passing to, I don't
So I
know.
don't know.
They're orcs.
I don't know
but
if you guys know
throw-
this,
but
but
they're
orc throwers
adding
are considered like the worst players on teams, right? They're like considered some of the worst. So not only does he
Are
have
they?
one of what they consider the worst throwers on any team, he's got two
two.
of them. They're movement 5.
So-
Like what is? I mean, even with Agi 4, what's he doing with movement 5? Like he's not.
Well-
Who's he going to throw to? He's going to throw.
Yeah.
He's got no catch, so he's going to throw to someone on a 3+.
Well,
with
no, he's
a
going
re-
to throw it
with-
to the other thrower at Agi 4.
But they're movement 5, so they're not going anywhere anyways.
Where you,
Like, they're
you
slower-
Put him, you park him in the cage, and you just move. Your cage isn't moving more than 5 a turn, anyways. He's going up with movement 4 blackworks, so he's still faster than the cage around him. And then
See-
eventually, maybe you slip around the other guy that stayed in the back, and you throw it back to him.
I
Or
could
you
see
get
a
goblin
purpose.
on the team to do silly things.
I can see why we'd take one. I know some people say no, give
Yeah.
it to a blitzer, but by taking that one,
Built-in
over-
sure hands is always nice, you know.
yeah, I can see one, but two I can't justify.
Because you say they're the worst throwers, but you're going to say that in about 2 teams again. So,
No, the worst thrower is definitely the Norse thrower, without any shadow of doubt. He has no purpose. He doesn't even have sure hands. And right next to that one is the Amazon
I'm
thrower.
talking about just orcs just suck. Orc throwers just suck. So that's like a general consensus. They're terrible.
Yeah.
They're
a lot
movement
of people
5. They're
use them
movement
as ball
5.
carriers for the short
They're-
hands.
The-
Block
Yeah.
your hands.
But
Hopefully
you can
dodge,
give
then-
a blitzer pretty much. My thing is Bello makes a good point. These guys are 1, 2, 3, 4 skills in each, so that's 8 skills on these throwers, and he's got like 9 total skills on his blitzers.
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean-
on all
That is a
4 of his
little
blitzers.
odd.
So
I don't know how the blitzes aren't leveling up.
I'm of a
he is
belief.
underdeveloping the most integral part of his team. I feel blitzers are what make orcs teams orcs, and he's underdeveloping them hardcore. So
See, I'm not an orc
I
coach
will
by
agree
any
the blitzes
means,
are good.
but the movement 5 for me isn't a massive deal, because if those guys are much quicker, they're leaving the Black Orcs behind, and that's your protection. If you leave your protection behind, then you deserve to get sacked, and it don't matter what movement you are. So movement 5 I can forgive. I understand the argument with sure hands on a blitzer, which is going on in the chat. It's interesting to see, and I understand the reason for taking a thrower, freeing up your blitzers to be able to do a different role. But 2 throwers I can't work out. The other one is, a personal preference. I get that, but 2 I don't get.
I agree with that.
yeah, having 1 is not even a big deal. Like people, have 1, that's fine. But
Yeah.
you got 2. They both have edges, so they're both worth 170K. That's a lot of TV that they're just piling up. They're both worth
I'd
more than
rather
all
have a
his blitzers.
star
Which,
blitzer or a
Yeah.
star black orc at that TV. It's odd, like in later development, having to whatever. But yeah, no. And does he have any?
actually, I want to see how many
Points,
touchdowns are these throwers scoring.
Well, let's have a look at the
17
first one.
matches, 8 touchdowns for that bottom one, number
The
6.
second one's got 12 in 28 matches, so they're not scoring maybe as much
He's
as
got
we
13
think.
passes though. I mean, he is
Yeah.
passing it. So who's he passing to?
probably blitzers.
Yeah, probably blitzers, but they're not scoring because they don't have the SVP that show they're scoring 25.
Maybe there was a goblin that died or something like that.
Yeah. Still, we can dwell on that all day long, so we move on to the next.
We should.
Yes, let's move on.
Kemri.
Oh, Kemri. Yeah, I love
Kemri.
Kemri. I'm all about Kemri. See, we'll probably see a lot more guard on this team.
Where is
I'm
their
hoping
team?
we do. Oh, no, we don't. Yeah,
Well, they're only down to 10. They're only missing
6
one player.
wins, 8 draws, 16 losses. So they're
which is kind of normal for a developing
Yeah.
Kemri team, you know? They kind of are garbage early on, so...
Carrot's scared of this team.
This team, like, once again, they don't have the guard to make the 3 dies super
No.
easy. I don't know if I like the movement on that Tomb Guardian.
No, I think that's pointless. Where's he going? Somebody's going to park something, or
Guard-
he's going to park next to it. Yeah,
Gardner Mighty Blow would still be way more valuable on that
Yeah.
than the movement, I feel.
only one Blitzra that I can see.
He's got an Agi 3. He's got an Agi 3 Blitz Rod, though. I mean, that's
And
Agi 3 on a Kemri team. So.
Only one thrower. Why? Maybe there must have been injured. That's the two gaps. Because those two,
Yeah.
whilst they
Well, he's
come
not
with their
enough.
price, they score and they cause touchdowns and stuff.
He doesn't have enough money to get one right away. I mean, he
No.
could have got one before this, but
Yeah, four
Yeah, I actually
cheerleaders
don't know
has
why
been
you would-
spotted.
I don't know.
yeah,
why,
I like how his dirty player leveled up to Agi 3, which is kind of a probably really annoying for. I don't know if I would have taken Agi. I don't know if I would have taken Agi up on my dirty player, but
Nah. Unless his job's changed all of a sudden, different role.
all of a sudden he's going to be a backup ball carrier as a skeleton. But then he's trying to be an orc thrower at movement 5. So
Yeah, this team's played what 20 odd games, shots, maybe 30 games. It's mid development, I suppose.
They played last season.
last year was their first season, though, I think. So.
Yeah, in the CL. Yeah.
I think the agility on the 30 players largely down to the fact that, be honest now, anywhere they can get it, they need agility 3.
I'm a little bit confused. He's got 140k. I don't know why he doesn't buy another Blitzra or
Yeah,
why he didn't buy one before.
Blitzra's got to come in
yeah.
first, and then farm that throw Ra up with touchdowns, feed him it. Because of the sure hands, yeah, you've got the Blitzra for 3, with the agility 3, but
No bench is a bad thing for Camry.
yeah, too much AV7.
You want that bench. Not even just for that. You want that bench for the fouling options. Not that I
See, Mello's pointed out he's not a fan of kick on the Camry because it's not the best skill. The thing is, if you kick that short,
I don't believe that.
no,
Yeah.
I don't. You kick short with against the agility, you're putting them under pressure quickly to make them make mistakes. Kick deep against dwarfs and stuff. You can control that front line by the time they're dealing with things like recovering the ball and whatnot. And by the time they get to the halfway line, you've set your defense out, and hopefully you've dominated the blocking game, controlling that pitch.
I don't like kick on a skeleton, but I would put kick on a second throw raw and then heartbeat. Or I don't know. I like kick. I think kick is a very
Kick's
all
never a
sorts of
bad
things. I like kick on Nurgle. I like kick for slow teams because you can put the ball
Yeah, wherever
where
you want.
want it to go. Yeah. No,
In
it's
worst
not
case,
mellow.
a bad-
it's a helpful skill.
There's no such thing as like you're never gonna complain about a good kick. Like if you put one in their touch end zone, you're always like, ooh, that's a good kick. And no matter if you can capitalize it or not, you're never gonna turn down a good kick.
No.
Right? So why would you not want to at least pick which half of the field or quarter of the field it's gonna be a good kick into, right? Even if you just always want to put it in a back corner every single time to always know it's always going to go deep, just to make them have to carry it that much
Think
farther.
about it, yeah. This is
know?
it. You play.
Guys,
Because you can
weather-
roll double
weather
ones
dome
and pick
too,
up a
so.
ball and put some pressure on. So.
Yeah, you stick that ball deep, and some teams are taking 2 turns to get to the halfway line. By the time they've gone back and come forward, if they set deep and you kick it short, all of a sudden a few of their players are in a problem. Against this sort of team, you stick it on the left, anybody that's potentially on the right has got a problem. You can gear up and cause them problems.
Now, I will agree that it's better on an Agi team. Like, there's teams that can't get more value out of it, and obviously ones that want to get the blitz or steal the ball earlier are going to get more out of it. But if you have a lino and gets it, you have nothing better to give your, again, a dirty player with kick is because you keep them back anyways or something like that. Well, those players are going to sit back anyways. It's a skill. It's like having leader. Right? It's one of those skills that you just give a guy who's not going to be doing anything else on your team other than sitting back and being a tackle zone.
Yeah, it's like more shots.
Right.
I've not disagreed with this guy ever before, but I'm going to start right now. Kick is a skill that gets used twice a game. Block gets used more. Leader only gets used twice a game. But I tell you what, I take leader every day on a lot of teams. It's subjective
Depends on how much
to
a
the.
reroll costs you.
Well, this is true.
Yeah.
This is true.
But like for me, for my North, a 60k reroll, I would give leader to a thrower as a cheaper reroll. I know ogres like it. If a nobbler rolls double, turns a big ogre player also But he was talking about this. He goes, you know what? Someone said that to him once, and ever since he goes, that's the only time I'd ever actually even take a skill up on a knobbler, because the 40k for leader on a knobbler is half the price of a reroll, and players need rerolls. So he's like, that you do that and just keep that knobbler as far away from anyone as humanly possible.
Yeah, you mean a snotling?
Yeah, snotling. Sorry.
We're talking old school stuff here.
Yeah.
They're nobbler. They're still nobbler.
Shall
whatever.
we continue on?
Let's progress on. Where are we at now? We're going on to the north.
This ugly team that I do want to point out that I think I'm 2-0 against, right? 2-0, 1-0.
I think you've only played against them once.
Well, let's just have a look at
which I'd like to point out, in that game that you didn't lose on, I nearly bench cleared you.
You did, but I still won.
No, you didn't win. It was a draw. It was a 1-1 draw because you had two very favorable kickoff events.
Oh, really?
Very.
Yeah, we're gonna say that. Okay.
You're arguing that you're gonna argue that the blitz and the perfect defense did not.
I was down like 4 players the whole game, so get out of here.
I'm just saying, it changed the tone of it quickly.
Well, one thing I like with this lot,
pure bloat.
It's the Yeti. The Yeti's a nice piece. He's not far off Superstar. He's got his block. He's got his guard. His stand firm, so he's not getting pushed around so much. He's looking nice. He's looking nice.
I'm not sure. I'm a big fan of stand firm on Yetis. I don't know why. I just feel like maybe it's just fluff wise. I don't feel like frenzy and stand firm should be a thing together. You know, but.
If he gets into the point where he's pushing it to protect the sideline, also because he's a guard piece, it means
the guard.
Get him away from. If you get him where he's in 4 tackle on basing 4 guys, and someone's trying to push him away, it's it's like nope. Yeah, a push is no longer a good thing because people sometimes try to push dodge, right? Like, okay, I just need to push this guy away so my other guy can not dodge out, right? So the one thing I'll tell you right now that he needs to do this season that he didn't do last season is anything. As in, not roll wild animal every single turn on a 2+, because he always hits or blitzes. I'm a person who believes if you're gonna have a wild one play, if he's not basing someone, I'm going to blitz with him unless I absolutely need to blitz with one of my other pieces. But I can't have 230k of player not in position.
There.
So,
dude, I want to say you have a runner that costs almost as much as your stupid Yeti. Okay.
Yeah.
But that runner,
awesome.
That runner is roided to the high heavens, and
yeah.
Dodged. Sorry, why has he got catch? Please tell me you haven't got a thrower.
I have. Have you not gotten as far as
yeah.
thrower yet?
He's got the Agi 4 thrower. He's got no sure hands, but he's got no sure hands.
It's the next, because he's Agi 4, he can pick up on a 2+. I let it slide. His next level up will probably be sure hands, maybe leader. I'm on the fence because I might want the reroll.
But see, this tells me you've got an agility 4 accurate thrower, beautiful, and you've got one person you can throw it to. Okay, so now we know what that two.
He's got 2 runners.
Has the other runner got catch as well?
Not yet. It will be his
next
skill.
He's got sure heads.
Okay, so I go back to my previous statement. You've got one target.
Okay, so I don't, because other people. Okay, so first of all, I would eventually want to get them both with catch. So they're both valid targets. But Agi 3, throwing to any Agi 3 player is not a bad play. If you have a reroll in hand, whatever. It can be, I could score with anyone that's in scoring distance. It's an accurate throw, so it's what? It's on Agi 3, it's what, a 3+ with an accurate throw?
Yeah.
So it's a 3+. Anyways, it's not the end of the world. If you have a reroll in hand, that's even better. But the idea is, and what I'm going to hopefully do is cage the thrower and then throw off the vampire into the far corner. So while everyone's focusing on the cage, he can,
Can I say that whilst throwing to an AG3 player might not necessarily be deemed as a bad play, that's because the bad plays have already happened that meant that you needed to throw the ball.
But at least options. Again, I like the idea of having options. I
Yeah,
like having the
yeah.
ability to, if I need to
He's
throw it,
not.
I have a
Doom's
guy
not
who
a
can throw
conventional
it.
player. Like,
But
He,
also, the one thing, reason I wanted an Agi 4 thrower, and I have sure hands on this guy, is I've discovered this. Norse, their Agi 3 only applies to everything except for picking up the ball. I've failed more pickups than I have succeeded.
yeah.
On wide open, tackles, like the amount of 3+ failed pickups. One of these guys once had 3 turns. I had to pick up the ball and walk into the end zone and failed 3 turns in a row, and there was at least 1 reroll spent as well. So the very next season, I brought in an Agi 4 player just to pick up the damn ball.
Well, I've heard if you don't pick the ball up, you can't win games.
Exactly. So that is why there's an Agi guy there. That's why there's sure hands on the Agi 3 piece, and why the second Agi. Well, this Agi, you don't never turn Agi down on runners because they blodge and whatever. I'd like to point out my transition this season, just because for the purpose of fluff. As I was talking about my Yeti being a very wild animal and a bad Yeti last season, I brought in a Yeti trainer, Icepick Shakur.
Where are we looking?
And,
oh, yes.
number 4. And I was told he's a very good Yeti trainer in the sense that he just showed the Yeti what to do by hitting other players, and the Yeti is supposed to
emulate.
That looks like fun, and emulate it.
Yes.
So I'd like to bring in that. I'd like to thank Thundin for passing on such the world famous Yeti trainer that is Icepick Shakur, because maybe this season my Yeti won't sit there and scratch his belly the whole damn season.
Well,
because when the Yeti does nothing, it just seems he's a centerpiece of the team. Again, obviously wild animal happens, but I'm telling you, it happened on 2+ more than it should have last season.
Well,
so
let's go on to our orcs, the next orc team.
Okay.
On the next orc team, I have a 3 orc pool. Like, oh, so many orcs. Alright, well.
Traditional. Standard early orcs, right? Like.
No, they're okay. You say standard orcs, and then look at his 2 black orcs. What are those things doing?
Have we got another roided team, have we?
No, we don't.
Is that 2 double tackles? Diving tackles?
That's 2 diving tackle orcs.
That's interesting.
I don't know. I hate it.
It's not that it's, I don't. It's not. For me, I think the thing you can easily get put out of position. They're movement 4, they diving tackle, they're on the ground, and then all of a sudden, if they don't stop it, then what are they doing? Then they're walking 1 square the next turn.
See, this is it. It's not even that.
Giving me a level of suggestions. Says, Chad, I'm not paying attention. Continue talking, but I got to read all these people talking about how I should level my team.
I'm even thinking with them Black Orcs, if I was an elf coach, I'd even think about where I'm going and try and trigger diving tackle. So go on, if you want to take us down, because that pulls your Black Orc out of place. You're getting up and you're moving 1 square. I don't really care because I'm now over here. I could see it could have potential for the line of scrimmage where they're trying to escape before they set up their drive, but once the drive's going, it's a bit meh.
See, Black Orcs are supposed to be the opposite of laying on the ground. They're supposed to be, the block guard, mighty blow, stand firm, roadblocks that you can't get around, right? Though that diving tackle is straight up just taking them off of, and that's a double, right? There's so many other doubles. I don't know actually if there's a lot of. I mean, even dodge I feel is like a better option
or sidestep
for roadblocking.
Sidestep's sweet on a Black Orc,
especially sidestep with guard. Oh, you pushed me? Oh, let me stand somewhere even better.
I mean, it's like Mello's saying there, the block guard, mighty blow, stand firm's normally the best option before doubles. Absolutely right. However, sidestepping strength 4 pieces are a royal pain in the arse a lot of the time. A couple of those with a couple of stand firm troll, and yeah, you're having a field day there.
Hey, Mello God also, as a man who has a blodge beast of Nurgle on his team, I will let you know that dodge is very helpful on keeping these guys on their feet.
Of course it is. Normally,
it's the big doubles, strong. I would probably take dodge. Yeah.
The big strong hitters doing it, and they can't get dodge.
Stand firm gets really annoying if you don't stand firm's kind of a sidestep-ish for guard. So if you're gonna your first double, I would agree. You go blodge, and then stand firm eventually as you get way up there, and then you're just a black orc that just cannot be pushed down. And are you going to really throw tackle pieces at black orcs?
Well, this is it. Normally, if you think it's a lot of the stronger guys who might not have tackle, bar Chaos Warriors maybe, or something like that, but ogres and trolls and all that sort of crap that might be looking at fighting these guys, they don't have the luxury of tackle, let alone block. You're not going to be sending, I don't know, dwarfs after them unless you're getting in a cage fest, in which these guys should have enough guard to deal with that. I don't think they do necessarily, but they should do.
It's an early development team so
yeah, it's fairly. This might be their. No, it's not their first season. They're 16 at TV, so they're returning. They don't have a ball handler really for the next game.
They've got.
Did we look at their stats yet?
Yeah, 6 wins, 5 draws, 7 losses. So a relatively new team. 20 odd games.
Again, other than the diving tackle, though, again, it's an orc team.
Yep.
It's got blocking guard all over the place. And
yeah, if the diving tackle was anything else, it would probably be a pretty good start to develop orc team. But I'm not a big fan of the
I don't hate it.
The goblin's
I
interesting.
Think better, but
I think I might hate it. I think I might not like it at all.
I think that the fact that goblin is the same value as black orc with 2 skills.
Yeah, block agility and size. I mean, don't get me wrong, agility is nice, but yeah, I'm not.
This goblin needs to be on the other orc team with the star thrower. That's all I'm saying.
He needs to. He's TV bloat at the moment. The agility is nice, but that 130k could be better spent elsewhere.
Unless he plans on just picking the ball up with the goblin and then throwing it down the field that's his game plan.
But that's a limited chance. Even then, there's a very, very limited chance of that happening.
But it's fun.
It is.
It's fun, but he's going to get eaten.
He's probably going to get eaten.
And then you buy 3 goblins and it's the same price anyways. So.
Right. Oh man. Yeah, that's a pretty bloated goblin. So.
It's a bloated goblin. But block on a study player. The only thing that I hate about that is that it's gonna. Again, I think because he's this, you're gonna ride him until he dies. But he's a little clinky on the armor, so anyone gets his hands on him with a tackle piece. If my berserker gets his hands on this goblin,
but that goblin. To get that goblin airborne and landed on his feet again, you're only talking 30% chance. So you haven't given him the ball yet, and you haven't even decided whether you're going to go for it to cross the line. All you've done is throw him and get him to land on his feet. He's not a goblin team. He's not a doom diver, which I appreciate some of you guys may not have come across. He's not a reliable option yet.
Doom divers, I wish we could have doom divers.
Yeah.
I wish.
And Mello's saying foul with them. You ain't fouling with that one. Not 130k.
No, he said 3 goblins is better value than that 1 goblin.
Yes.
And you get 3 of them. And you get 3 goblins and foul of them. Yeah, and that's.
And we were saying exactly this yesterday about the halflings. Exactly.
Yeah. There were some bloaty halflings on the halfling team, huh? So.
We're talking at 17%. What are we looking at? Bear
it's a
with
1
me.
in 6 chance. Is it really only a 1 in 6 to do that, to make that work?
No, it's not. You've got a 2 plus stupid. You've got a 2 plus eat. Then you've got the 3 plus throw. Is it 3 plus? It is 3 plus throw. And then you've got a 3 plus land, which is 30%. Unless I've missed any numbers out.
I think you also have to take the scatter because it's not always inaccurate. So if you scatter too far before, the pickup, the handoff.
Yeah. I'm not talking about.
The handoff,
I've not talked about the pickup. I've not talked about the handoff. I've not talking about the go for it. I'm talking about just getting him airborne and landing. That's it.
Yeah, that's already not a good chance. Yeah, you're right.
No, and we haven't even talked about what he's going to do with that.
I'm really excited for Mello to see this next orc team, though. So let's get
another orc. It's like deja vu, isn't it?
No, he's gonna love these. Mello's gonna love these black orcs on this next team.
Yeah, Mello, you're absolutely right. You do have to take into account scatter. Apologies, I didn't explain myself properly. I wasn't talking about trying to score with the guy. I'm just talking about trying to throw him and getting land on his feet. the other issues, like going for it, picking up a ball, giving him the ball, and all those, the scattered take, it makes him a shit option.
RJ, the moment you can no longer call yourself a halfling coach, the moment that you decided to start playing shorts, you are now a power gamer, and you are no longer a halfling coach. So I don't want to hear no halfling coach thing. Okay, but we'll get to you next. Don't worry.
Yeah, you're this Orcs. They're bragging in at 2 wins, 1 draw, 10 losses. Sorry, 13 games total. Very new team, straight fresh out the farm. What we see in here, we picked up injuries, which is never healthy, never good. We've got a lot of block, which I like. That makes them very useful in this pool. But we've already got 2 dodge Black Orcs, and
three dodge Black Orcs.
yeah, one of them's at least got block. I'm talking about the 2 that have got bugger all else. They've got 5 casualties away from getting a skill that allows them to get casualties.
Those 3 Black Orcs with dodge. I don't know if you want 3 all at once with dodge and nothing else really. But
doubles are doubles, right? You don't turn it down.
Yeah.
Okay? Obviously, it's not the first. Black Orcs are one of those players that you don't want to roll doubles first.
No.
Right?
No.
You want your block, and I've heard the logic, and I kind of started to agree with this on slow level pieces. You want Mighty Blow first, block second, guard third, and then you want to roll your double. And if you roll your double, maybe that 3rd spot you'll tick it, but dodge is your first skill with a Black Orc is not doing as much as it is when he's better.
Yeah, dodge first skill is when you're punching, you're 1-9ing on the punches still. With Black Orcs, I mean, I'd almost maybe skip a double for block on the first skill. After that, maybe not. But.
I'm looking at this here.
Doubles don't always happen a second time, and I turned down doubles on a Berserker. I had agreed for need of a tackle piece. I had 0 tackle on my team, and my intentions were to give my Berserker tackle. He needed it. I was going to go against a stunty team, and I said I need at least 1 tackle piece to kill stunties. And I rolled doubles, and I turned down a Blodge Berserker, and it was a silly decision because I was really just thinking about it. Oh, I really want to beat up. I want tackle on my team, but you can't count on it coming around again, right? So if you eventually want to give him dodge, sometimes if it comes as your first skill, you're like, well I eventually was going to give it to him. I'd like it. I don't know.
Shots makes a good point on not seeing leader on Black Orcs. I think Black Orcs and leader is a good piece because they don't get taken off the pitch very often. I mean, it's maybe not a first skill leader, but I mean,
one thing we have to remember in all of this, and I think it's important. I don't know how long these coaches have been playing. We are talking from a perspective of players that have played a lot of games. If these guys are relatively new to the game, they've got to find out the way of their doing things, and I think we have to show a bit of respect also to them that he's taken dodge because he's thinking of future. He might be a fluff to it. Yeah,
and that's what I'm saying. It's not what I would want, but again, he's rolled doubles. Again, he took block there. The one he got on the second roll was great. Game block first and then dodge. Again, I'm glad I'd be okay with dodge over Mighty Blow if it came up just because, okay, I'll take dodge. It makes it harder to knock my orc down. The other ones he just happened to roll doubles as his first skill. And if you want, again, he's going to have 3 Blodge Ogre.
Mello, see that even see my team. Sorry, go ahead.
Because, if you have 3 Blodge Black Orcs, he's getting a guaranteed 3 Blodge Black Orcs, assuming none of them get killed.
Yeah.
That'll be a thing when they get bigger up. 2 or 3 seasons later, you're going to be like, oh my god, he's got 3 Blodge Black Orcs. And we're going to be raving about these guys. And yeah, as their first skill, we're like, oh, why would you get first skill? This isn't a 1-season team.
I do want to also point out that he's got no guard. But look at those 2 blitzers.
They both got Dauntless. I mean, it's like we were talking with Preach yesterday.
It's like he knew he was playing against Kimry and and other orcs. And Necromantic, he's like, I'm going to be out strength here on a lot of these with my blitzers, but now I'm not because I'm got Dauntless. And even Norse,
Though those other high strength things have guard, which are going to be a trouble. The guard's going to be... The no guard is going to be a problem here. He needs guard, and his next couple skills have to be guard.
I think a
I
lot.
feel I'm missing guard. I'm gonna have to add guard on a level up piece. I was gonna level up the one bullet's just one skill point away from getting on, and I was gonna go tackle again because I also think I'm tackle light. But then I saw this play pool. I'm like, nope, guard. I
I
have no need
think
for tackle in my entire
also
team. So
one thing we're missing in this picture that I think is maybe important when we speak in the it just occurred to me, we spoke about Preach's team yesterday, and he had Chorfs and he had his tails and he had all his other lovely little tricks that he's got, and the first lassos, yeah, we're talking about the one thing we didn't see was the claw and such like. Now your standard coach would probably go down that route. Has this guy got a story to tell? Has he got a reason behind? Because the MML is built on not just being able to be competitive, but also the story of a team. Maybe this is something that they've got. It reminds me a lot of a Norse team that's gone wrong, or do you know what I mean? There's block all over the place. We're getting a nice sprinkle of dodge. There could be a story
he's
told.
Have 5 blodgers. He's gonna have 5 blodging orcs. Okay.
Yeah, there's a story here that.
This is not going to be the year he does it, but a year of development, assuming no major deaths, this team will develop nicely because of it.
And I think we got to remind ourselves, and we got to be careful we don't fall into the trap of, this isn't Cladder, this isn't ultra competitive, this is people with the teams and a vision of where they're going. Because let's believe you me, if this was about winning, I would not be playing Vampires this season. Because I just wouldn't be. And I think that's something. It'd be interesting to know. Maybe we'll have to get in contact with this guy and do a mid-season review on his team and find out what his aspirations are, what his dream is, and where he's going. And like you guys,
Shots is a good point. If they stay together, they stay in one piece, they'll look nice, you know. So
yeah, and that's my opinion too. I think out of this season's gonna be tough, but I think it's a good step.
Which I think if he's a new coach, I don't know Dog Factor. Like I don't know if I'm even, but if a lot of times these guys will come in and lose all 7 games and then they'll be done. I really hope this guy, even if he does end up losing a lot of games, I hope he sticks with it because his team could look pretty.
Mello's just called me a mad bastard. So Mello, I plead and I ask you to come and watch my games, because I will be streaming each and every one of them, and you can laugh at me or cry with me. I don't know.
What was your vamp record for the farm to get into before you got in the sale? What were you, 3-11?
3-11, yeah. Don't get me wrong, and here comes the excuses. Everything was done with the vampires, and I know that's not how they play but it's the farm, it's getting them ready. But they are by far the hardest team I've ever coached straight out of the box. Halflings any day, vampires never. They were so frustrating in so many ways.
No, I hate vampires so much.
But
shall we move on to the first of the two?
We will. But I would like to point out, I've learnt so much playing them. So Chorfs, let's look at the statistics on this lot.
This power gaming team? Okay,
so 8 wins.
Because he's in the audience, let's say it now.
8 wins.
A lot of money has been spent on this team on the PR. That this is a passing team, and this is all PR, and all that because this is a murder team.
It's 8 wins, 4 draws, 26 losses.
All right.
So that's
good. That's
packed in nearly 40 games. This is an old team.
He wasn't trying to win. He was just trying to get SPP. And this is all on the farm.
I think, and when you look at where the SPPs has gone, they was about murdering the opponent's teams. Yeah. I did come across this team.
Oh no, he's got a pass Hobgoblin. Okay, he's got a pass Hobgoblin. So they're a passing team. They're a passing team.
But this is the same team that he played my Wood Elves, and I turned 15 at his end zone. He's been fouling since half time. I fail a dodge into the corner, and he fails with a lone dwarf, and then tells me it's because I'm stalling. And the answer to that, and I can tell you now, was if I score, you hit me with 3 hits, then you blitz me, and then you foul me. So I just took the stall and then scored after. it's disguised as a passing team. It's not. It's there. Look
It's
at
not
it.
a passing team. Okay, let's see how many passes this Goblin has made. 2 passes and
Let's
1 catch, and in 6 matches. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Let's. I wonder if we can go to the team itself.
Oh, that one has 0 passes. The Algae 4 one has 0 passes. So, nice passing Hobgoblin team you got going on over here.
Well, they have made a total of 326 yards passing across nearly 40 games, with 11 kills.
I feel like my Nurgle has gotten more passing than that.
Yeah, there's a. Don't get me wrong. We can't knock the guy. He's got an approach. He's trying to go with the.
I'm
Yeah,
knocking
okay.
this guy. He went from a fleeing coach, and he tries to call himself a fleeing coach, and now he's power gaming. Like that's total opposite.
I don't know if it's deliberate that there's no balls. There could be a story. I'd be interested to know. But he's just got dwarves. He's just got
He
hobgoblins.
wants to do
Because
passing.
they're passing hobgoblins, so there's no bulls.
Yeah, in which case we need to start passing the ball. But I mean, if that is a thing, at least he's trying to build a story. But you've only got to look at the first.
He puts a lot of effort into his stories and his marketing campaign. I said he's putting in his. I think it's a bit of a smoke screen, but I have to give this to Carrot. He does put a lot of effort into the idea and the fluff and that. Even with his halflings, he puts a lot of effort into telling the story of. Yeah, it's a kill team. Let's not. There's no ands if or buts. But I have to admit, I like the fact that he's trying to do the whole marketing of it. Disguise it behind a couple of gobos that are going to die very early on in this play pool, and he'll be left with nothing with but close. But the team is built to can opener pretty much every team in here. So
With the first skill on all of those dwarves are killing skills, claw or mighty blow, and
which is what you take on them. Like let's not
well,
ourselves.
it depends. It could be guard. Guard would be very valuable in all of those as a first skill.
Yeah, guard would be up there as well, but I think
he's also got guard on most of them already too. So I mean, there's that. He does have 4 pieces of guard, which I feel like he's got more guard than anybody else in the pool because I don't think anybody has guard in this pool, which is really weird.
Have 3 pieces. How many does he have?
Well,
Shots. What is he trying differently?
He's not.
Trying differently?
I tell you what he's trying differently. This is what he's trying differently. He's trying to hide the persona that he's a kill team, whereas most of them just accept that they're kill teams.
I'm going to tell you right now, he rolled that double and took diving tackle only because people had already started giving him crap about how much claw he had in his team.
Yeah.
Only because of that. He went diving tackle because he's trying to be a passing.
Well, no, I think he learned that one from Magoo last year because he was in the play pool with Magoo last year. Magoo has 2 diving tackle dwarves, and it's again, as we've all said, it's a skill you forget players have, and you especially don't expect dwarves to have it. So
yeah.
Like, oh, I'm gonna dodge away my elf from this dwarf on a 2+, and you fall on your face all of a sudden. You're like, what's a diving tackle? And the turnover, because it's one of those maybe not first moves, but you know, oh, it's a 2+ dodge out. I'll do this now before I start doing the crazy stuff so he doesn't get murdered by, you know, Mighty Blow Claw. And then all of a sudden you're on your face and the ball turns over and you're like, oh, Schusners, you know. It's a thing. I like it. I wouldn't put on all my doubles there, but it'll sneak up. It'll again in this pool actually it won't do much because
you're not gonna have people dodging
away. We're gonna be punching people away. But if he didn't know it was gonna be an all AV9 club. So the claw is gonna be good for him there, but
yeah, and like Carrot said, he said he wanted 3 claw, 2 diving tackle, which you know you've got to take on its face value is fair enough, and that's a nice line of scrimmage if you're playing elves.
Chorf team's gonna take 2 or 3 chores. Like let's be honest, like as a Chorf team, you're gonna build your chorfs this way. Maybe more guard. Well, he's got the guard there, so you got 3 guard. He's got 4 guard, so he's good for guard. The only thing he's missing from a stand charm is bull. So you take away the strength advantage. This is not straight up, because again, bulls are part of that too, right? With the strength and the pushiness of them.
The real thing the bulls add is the speed. The bulls add speed to the team. There's no right now they have
speed,
1.
And
they're slow.
They also are, you know, they're what separates regular dwarfs from chores is the strength up and the speed of a bull. But the bull adds they're tough. You have to unless you're a high strength counter team. but you have to commit a lot of players to knock down a strength 4 bull, right? So you need the more guard there. But no, it's again, we're gonna give him flack because he went from flings to this. But to be also on the fair thing, a lot of players go from when you play a team like that, you have to go to something with AV9. Magoo did the same thing, going from elves to dwarves, because you get murdered for enough games in a row. You're like, I just want to have AV9 for the season, and we're in a pool where it's all mighty blow anyways, so everyone's gonna get killed anyways.
Yeah, and I'd like to reiterate that point. He's gone from halflings. This guy has taken his beatings season after season after season, with people looking at his team saying, "Oh, it's just one season." Oh well, that's it. So next season he won't be playing chuffs. But playing halflings, as I'm going to find out with playing vamps, is going to be hard work, and you are the whooping boys for a lot of teams. So credit where it's due, he's gone in with something that's got a bit of clout and a bit of punch, and it's his turn to dish it out. Let's hope that he tries to stick to the story he's gone and doesn't turn down that dark and lonely path of, the only thing frowned on more than chaos or dwarfs is chaos dwarfs.
So what happens when Charlie Crotchkicker dies? What happens because he will die? He will die.
Yeah.
He has to bring in another passer, obviously.
He's bringing one in, but what's he gonna do for the rest of the season? Like, what happens when
he has got a passer?
His hobgoblins are gonna die. Like, that's the thing. This is a pool that's gonna kill hobgoblins. His dwarves are not gonna be fast enough to protect them at all times. This is a pool that will kill his goblins because they're AV7.
The one thing he has for him is that he is the only team with claw. Minus my Yeti, my one Yeti. But he's got the claw advantage.
He's got more claw. He's got more claw than my 2000 TV Nurgle. So
but you went tense over claw. Like there's other teams like the Mythics have 4 claw. Claw is a tactic with your AV teams, but I think his dwarves aren't gonna get cracked up open too much unless my Yeti gets at them. But
don't forget, Necro has 2 claw.
Oh, the Necros do have claws. I forgot about the Necro. Okay.
My concern is his bank's only sitting at 20k. He's only got 11 players. What happens when a dwarf dies? Also, he doesn't have the bank, and we know he likes to stick in the boot. That comes from his halfling days, no doubt. And they're dirty, filthy hobgoblins, where not elves, despite what he thinks. He's going to like to stick in the boot and the foul. That option's not quite there yet.
He is going to get a lot of inducements from all the teams except for the last orcs and the last chaos.
Yeah.
He'll get enough for bribes and stuff from the rest of the teams. So.
Yeah.
So shall we move on to the last one? This will be a quick one before we go to the pros.
This last one.
Super quick because this is as fresh as you can get.
I don't know Asher. He's new. I know he's fairly new to the MML. I do know that this is the wrong play pool for his fresh dwarves. There's better play pools for him, I think.
Do you know what I like about this team? Nothing. They're chaos dwarfs.
Yeah, they're chaos dwarfs. They suck. They have bulls.
The bull centers.
He's only got 5 dwarves, but he is going to get a ton of inducements. So even not having an Apo and not having all the rerolls and stuff, he'll get those.
I don't want to play him game 1.
Hey RJ, love you, man.
Game 7.
But yeah, I absolutely love the Chaos Dwarf team. Personally, I've got one on my shelf looking to be painted up. I'm yet to get my head around with how they play on the tabletop in their tournament setting. Because I'm getting very sort of average results. You go a touchdown down and it's a draw. The thing I don't like about the Chaos Dwarf team is they so quickly go down that same old route of the claw killer pieces, and that...
If he plays RJ week 1, he's going to be in a lot of trouble.
Oh, he's finished. But the claw killer route is a necessary evil, but I don't think... See, Miller says they're not good in TT. I beg to differ. 1.1, no Minotaur, they're quite good. 1.15, they get better. Have a chat with... I think it's Harry, the French guy, and he'll tell you very different. They're very good in TT. One of the top tier races anyway. But it's down to personal play style. And
I think if he plays the Necro or the Chorf's first game, this team's can probably
Yeah.
get an early
You
retirement.
heard
Yes,
me.
because he's not coming with skills. Having no farm coming in is a pure, and that's just tough for any CL team. Like this, the whole
Yeah.
idea is coming in with a few skills in the bank, and I think any team coming in fresh is going to have trouble coming against every week after week development. Like
You
it's
say that,
tough.
but we've had teams come in fresh that have made playoffs or that have been one game away from playoffs. It's if the coach is good, they can make it happen.
Yeah.
I just think
Yeah,
this
it
pool
depends.
sucks for him. I just think this is a bad pool for him.
It's a bad pool for that. He has no agi teams to beat up on, and he's got
To get
no
SPP,
skills to
he's
beat
got no. Yeah,
he's gonna get 0 SPP because he has no mighty blow, so he's not gonna or claw, so he's not gonna get the things. He's gonna be facing that, and inducements again. I said this earlier with Tarn in the last one going to the pros early. Is SPP doesn't or inducements never develop SPP.
No.
Right? Even if you're putting in a couple star players to give you some skills, you're taking a wizard, a chainsaw, 6 bribes, and and a hot pot, because he's got 1 million in inducements to spend.
is a hot pot a chef? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, the chef. So you take a chef, a wizard, 3 bribes, and a chainsaw. Great. None of that might help you win the game. None of it's going to get you any SPP.
Yeah.
So your team will not develop, and then next year, because in the offseason he could, if he doesn't get over the hump, which I don't think he will, he could go back into the farm with this team, get up to 1400, and then come back still at the cap as a non-returning team. I think he's going to have to. I think not having taken advantage of that in our system is going to hurt him. So I think he came in last minute. I think that's why he hasn't had a chance to farm him much. But I don't like the idea of bringing a team just to bring the same team back, so I hope that's what he does next year. But
Yeah.
again, there's not much to say here. It's a fresh team. There's no history. There's no players with even anything. So I think we go to the next. Oh, we got to talk about who's going to do good in this pool.
Who's winning it then? Come on, gents. Who's winning?
I'm going to say it last because being in the pool.
Winning it, it's got to be Doomfrog.
Nah. I'm going with the Necro. Momo McPhee.
Ugh.
And my reasoning, and I get the Norse are sweet, but they are going in every round, bashing every single round, and attrition's going to take its toll on Army 7. Yeah,
Here's the deal.
Go on.
They're like the most agile team. They're the most agile team in this play pool. Okay?
Yeah.
They're the agile team of this pool. They're gonna run circles around. They're gonna run away.
You say that, but RJ's got an AG4 passing Hobgoblin.
Yeah, but I have 2 AG4 players.
Ah.
And my throwers got accurate AG4.
Yeah. So I think it's gonna be the Norse,
block.
and I don't think Momo's gonna even make the playoffs. I think Colorado Kelt, who is a former pro, he was in the pros last season. He did get relegated, but he was a pro. He made it. Made it to playoffs in his first CL season with the Goons. He was a good coach. I don't like his team. I have a grudge against them, but they're gonna go. They're gonna be in the playoffs. They're gonna run into my Nurgle, because I'm gonna be in the playoffs and I'm gonna kill them. So that's what's gonna happen.
See, I think the Norse are looking
calling it now.
second or third. I'm going with Necro, definitely.
The Norse are due, dude. The Norse are due. Doomfrog's been kind of, I don't know, hosed, mostly because when he plays me, he gets hosed. But anyways, he's been he's due for one. He's due for a win, due for a playoff. So.
Again, the high TV again from my perspective on it is again I would like the team is ready to be in the pros. They have all the skills. There's nothing I need to add to this team. I just need to survive the pool. I looked at all the AV9 and cried for about since it's been announced. But again, as I look at it, I have more strength than any of the teams. So I think the bashing the AV is going to be a problem. But if I can keep them at arm's length. It's one of those things I've started to learn with AV7. I think I'm okay there, but this is gonna not be this was not the this is not the match. I'm not in these matchups I look at and go, woo, yay me! This is gonna be the fun one. Maybe the rookie Chorfs, but they're gonna get 1 million in inducements, which I'm not looking forward to.
They could buy a new team to play you.
Yeah, they'll have 2 teams against you.
To be fair, the 2 Chorfs are the 2 teams I'm looking the most forward to playing against. And one of those teams is stacked with a ton of Mighty Blow, which scares me, but there's at least Hobgoblins for me to pick on. And
There's also 3 skills on
Which
that
are
one short team that is bloat against you, except for your Yeti, obviously, and your Wolves, but mostly bloat. Mostly bloat.
So who's the wild card,
the orcs
gents?
scare me.
I'm going to
I
say
hate to say it.
I think Kemri.
Yeah, Kemri could be. I like Kemri, but it's probably going to be RJ and his dwarves if they can get some kills and remove some pieces in their games. If their claw works, they'll be.
Depends how she gets for injuries. He needs to buy something this season. Like he needs a bowl. So if he can get the money to get a bowl early on, I think it'll flush it.
I think
yeah.
With that statement, and you're absolutely right, he gets a couple of ball centaurs and that team can go somewhere with the way it's built. It all comes down to what he wants to do. If he's going to continue the story and the fluff of making it a passing team with no balls, then fair play to him. I'll shake him by the hand if ever I see him, because that would be fun to see and to watch, and they won't ever reach their potential, but it'd be great. If he goes down the route of buying two balls and trying to take them somewhere, then he's become a run-of-the-mill Chaos Dwarf team, in which case he's not really any different to anyone else, but they're in a prime position to do it.
Yeah. I don't know if they're going to be a wild card for winning. I think he's going to be without the bulls. I think their scoring is too vulnerable. I don't think he's going to get a lot of touchdowns. He's going to murder teams. He is going to break some teams. He is going to do damage to a team that is then going to, whoever their next match is going to be getting, whoever plays the team after RJ is almost always going to be getting an advantage and going to have to thank RJ for it. That is what I think he's going to be. I think he's going to be the guy you hope your opponent plays the week before you.
Every time.
Right?
He's that guy.
Whether he does well in the standings, I think he's going to sauce up a ton of SPP for murders. I think, they'll be defensive. I think he's going to have a hard time scoring. I think he's got one trick to scoring. He's got one guy that can pass. He's got one guy can catch, and that guy has no one to cage around him and doesn't have the speed to then turn. And if he leaves them anywhere out there, they're AV7 with no block. They're going to get sacked. They're going to get piled on. They're going to get mighty blowed.
He might have 6 players on his team by the end of this. He might have 6 chores.
He might have 6 chores that go around murdering and have hurt teams but lose games but hurt. Again, hopefully, I'd like to see the trick work. I'd love to see it pull off. I just think it's because I'm a Norse with a catcher and a throwing piece, and it's not something people suspect. So whatever. Anytime these bash teams make an agi play, everyone cheers for it. But again, the orcs are at AV9 on their throw, or 8 at least. He's gonna have a hard time putting points up, but he's gonna break some.
Well, while he's
somebody's gonna get killed, and he's gonna break a player, and that team's gonna cry. Apples are gonna be. Any inducements are going to be Appos in this league.
Well, let's.
I can make a fireball, but I think I'd rather a third Appo.
Let's put a shout out to RJ then, and we'll hopefully catch up with him because we plan on doing a little bit of team focuses throughout the season. And we're only talking about 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes tops to talk about a coach with a coach about their team. So how about it, RJ? Mid-season, we'll see how you're getting on, and we'll catch up then. While he answers that, let's look at who's finishing last. Go on.
Rookies.
Rookie dwarfs. They're gonna get.
I feel bad for him. He's like I said, he's no coach in the league. He joined in, they needed a spot. He joined up with his fresh team. He got put in the wrong pool. If he got put in the other West pool, I feel like he would have had a chance to do some damage.
Because the other West pool, where the tackle comes into play.
Yeah.
Because the thing, all that tackle skill and this, I'm the only thing. Well, there's those Blackworks with dodge. The tackle will be helpful with. But I'm the next most dodgy team. Maybe the Necros. I have 2 on my
Necros don't have a ghoul, so
I don't know if they've given dodge anywhere naturally. But there's a lot of these dwarves with tackle that aren't doing much. That's wasted skills, right? That will not come up this entire play pool.
There's a lot of tackle on this play pool that's going to be pretty much wasted.
And I'm hoping the guys in this. Yeah, and I'm hoping the guys in this pool think about. I mean, this guy's come in, like RJ says, at the last possible minute, and he stepped in, which enables us to get going, enables the league to function. And I'm hoping that these guys here give him that respect on the pitch, and instead of fouling that last player off the pitch or clawing him to bits or running up that 18th touchdown, they say, do you know what, the guy's taken enough, and say, we're 3-0 up, run it in and take yourself some points so it's worth it. It's a bit flavoursome. It's but what makes us different to the you know.
I like, again, I definitely think anyone who's played, I would hope, again, agree that, again, I will, again, if I go up a couple touchdowns, I'm definitely not going to go to murder his pieces,
No.
unless he bases them with me. He comes at me, I'm going to have to, I'll defend because at 87, I need to keep your arm's length. If that's with my fist, it's going to be with my fist. But I'm definitely not going to be going into fouling on his, rookie players for no purpose, just to get the number advantage. I won't need it, again, unless his inducements really pay through to him. I might foul his star players if he brings them in.
Well, I was playing. I was playing the other day, and I think I was with the Wood Elves, and I was a couple of touchdowns up, and the ball went wherever. No, it was 3-0 up, I think, and I just didn't bother defending. And the guy said, "Thanks for not defending and letting me score." And it wasn't a case of I'm letting you score. It's like, if I put up a fight, I lose players. If the ball's open, I'm going to have it and I'm going to try and score. But sometimes you need to say, do you know what? You go ahead and score. You get something from this game. I keep my team in one piece. If you want to get into a scrap or a fight, then we'll do that. You're going to come off second best. Take the score, take the channel. And hopefully this guy will enjoy his season, because he's got a tough 7 games ahead of him.
Well, again, I think part of it's going to be, and again, I that was my first season when I brought in Kislev, but I got whooped. I don't think I won a game. If I did, it was a miracle. No, I did. I won 1 game, and it was a miracle. But it's about the everything else. It's the how badly do you lose and how does the teams play. And again, that was one of the good things about the league, is that everyone's pretty tight. Again, our play pool is a lot of people I don't think have played together much. Again, my play pool got pretty much dismantled within the pros. I was saying, Carrot's the only one in this play pool I've ever played against in the leagues. Maybe Kelt once, but I played Kelt maybe in the farm.
No, you played Kelt in a CL because you were in the same. Yeah, we played him.
I feel like he was in one of the things. I don't know, but anyway.
No, because it was the season that I had to beat him to beat or draw to make the playoffs.
Okay. Was he with you, Nurgle? Maybe. Well, it was first year.
Yeah, it was my last season with Nurgle.
Okay. Well, then, your last season with Nurgle, I was in that pool. You were with Fire Talker that your second year, Nurgle year, your last year. I wasn't in your pool that year.
Oh yeah, you were not in my pool. Yeah.
No,
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
speaking of Fire Talker,
should we continue on to our last one?
Yeah, this is another pool. There's going to be a lot more interesting than that last CL pool we talked about.
So there
is a lot of good returning coaches here, and these are some of my favorite coaches in the league.
Well, we are heading over to the Iron Leagues and the Noble South Conference, our last of the pros. So we should see some history.
Some long-standing teams here.
There's only 3 call-ups. And they're not key coaches that are getting called up. These are long-standing MMLers that have been called up from teams.
Well, Fire Talker's not a long-standing MMLer. He's fairly new. He's 4 seasons in.
Well, let's jump straight in then with Whiskey's Chaos, shall we?
So these Chaos teams this is one of the longest-standing teams. They started in Season 2. They played through Season 6, and then they took a break until Season 13. So,
well, they're running
they've been
in
around
with
since Season 2.
32 wins, 21 draws, 35 losses. So we're looking at nearly 90 games, 88 games.
Yeah, they've been around. Pretty sure most of them have been in the league. I do want to point out that in the last 2 seasons, the season in the CL, he went 6 wins, 1 loss, and made the pros. Last season, he went 1 win, 2 losses, or 2 draws, 4 losses. So he had a pretty rough season last season. It looks like he took some damage. I don't know if he took it last season, but he's one of those crippled. Look at all these injuries, all these perms. Like, holy. Like,
yeah, he belongs in the Cripple Cup.
Yeah. Man.
Well, there's a lot of long-standing teams here. I think we're going to see, again, the longer the teams here, the more cripples you're going to see.
Oh, look at that.
Because you got...
I can make my headphones light up. Sorry, guys, you carry on.
Oh.
I think we only need to talk about one player on this entire team, and that's Matt.
Let's have a look
Why
at
do we have
that.
to talk about him? We don't need to talk about Matt. He's nothing special. He's only got 215 SPPs. You know, legendary. Badass.
Agility
Legendary,
5.
Agi 5, extra hands,
See,
scores at will.
this is what we were saying. The agility 5 with 2 heads. Now we was talking about agility 6 being wasted. This guy agility 5, he still dodges on 2, but the 2 heads gives +1 to it, whereas agility 6 fails on a 1. It should pass on a 1, but it fails on a 1, so it requires that 2+. And this guy is a beautiful piece.
His team's got some good pieces down. You know, Yoda is.
And look,
he's another player that I've seen a bunch.
He's a passing guy as well. He's got 29 passes in 75 matches.
Dude, Stolze points out this team has 29 kills in its career. This team is a deadly team, and they don't have a lot of claw. They have 2 pieces of claw that are late claw. They weren't even early claw on the team. This team just likes to punch, apparently.
And they're Chaos Warrior claws as well. They're not your typical ball killing claws. Your Beastman claws, sorry.
Beastman. He doesn't have his Beastmen are very. I like his Beastmen. I like them all. I like his Beastmen. I don't know about the tentacle piece. Strength 4 tense is a little bit. I think it's substandard compared to Strength 5, but it's not. I guess it's not bad. But in this pool, it might work because there's a couple. You know, yeah. So.
Well, those 2 claws account for 13 of the kills.
Yep.
Well, tense is a fluff. Is fluff on Cash. He's Spider, right? He needs the 4 extra things to be a Spider.
Yeah, you're right.
That's
right.
why it's tense. On Cash Spider, he needs the extra limbs.
Yeah,
it's beautiful that he took skills strictly for fluff.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's part of it.
He's got lots of tail. The tail's going to come in handy in this play pool. He's got lots of teams that want to run away, but the tail's going to make it a little bit harder.
Yeah. He's got some of the best beastmen in the league. I think his Chaos Warriors, like Yoda is the only beast warrior that really stands out to me as anything special, and it's because he's just long standing. But Matt,
almost all of his beastmen have
Cash
almost
Spider.
all of his,
Those are 3-star beastmen, and Cash Spider is a newish star at 42 SPP. He's not that he's not that big. But any game you watch him play, Cash Spider and Cash and Matt are just the players that are always doing stuff. His beastmen are always doing something. His warriors are there in the background. They're strength 4. They're doing what Chaos Warriors do, but his beastmen are doing things that beastmen shouldn't be doing, and it's magical. And I love Whiskey. He's a good coach. This is a good team.
He's a great coach. When he was playing his rats, he was scary, and
this team is scary.
Yeah.
It's gonna do well. And there's stars again between Matt, Spider, and Cena. Again, those are 3 beastmen that you want to talk about. So.
Well, Stolz is saying that he sold him John Cena. What state was he in? Was he looking like that?
No claw palmers, Mellow Girl, because his claw is on his Chaos Warrior, and you don't really. I don't know how much pylon you want with Chaos Warrior.
One.
Maybe
Carbom's
one, but he
Carbom's
doesn't
got
have
it on
Sean's
team, but you won't. Again, you don't need both of them to have it. I think you get and I would do it if he gets the choice now. Although they both have tail, so do you want tail on the ground?
Yeah, no, you want tail up.
I would argue. There's not even one here at this point I would give it to, and they're all kind of injured right now, anyways. But
you don't want him on the ground. Like, look, he's got niggles. You don't want to put on the ground. He's got stat down. I mean, like once they're on the ground, they're gonna get smashed. I mean.
So, number 15, I would have instead of tail maybe given him claw then, and then pylon or pylon claw, and then get there. Because I think that, or again, I wouldn't have given tail to 14 and then put tackle on this one there. But again, I think you want one Clobomber. Just because there's going to be that player that you want to murder, right? There's going to be that guy that's like, I need him not to be down, but I need him to be on the other side of that white chalk, sitting next to the coach, possibly with the apothecary looking after him. And that's what you don't need to spam 5, Clopalmers on a team. You could, but you don't need to. But having one just to go in there saying you need to be not on this pitch, And I don't think any of these guys, because they've got tail on it, it's like guard. I have pile on some guard pieces with Norse, and I'm like, I'm kind of throwing away my guard if I pile the on. Right? Like you're throwing it away. Same with tail. It's one of those passive skills that you want to be standing for it to do stuff. So you're still mighty blow tackle, claw. You're still gonna knock people down. You just don't get to reroll on it. To be fair, pile on is super killy, but you're not gonna want to run by these guys. Running away from them is gonna be hard enough as it is. That might be almost better than piling on. Right? I'm gonna be standing up, and you want to stand up and run away. No, you're just gonna fall down.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Let's have a look at our next then. A favourite of mine, a Wood Elf team. Let's have a look at these boys.
Oh, gross. Rez team. Oh. So
He's
Rez is a very loud
he's got a tree.
coach.
He's got a tree.
Rez likes to talk about his team and how good
How
they are,
long
but...
has this team been running around? 53 wins, 14 draws, 42 losses.
Let me pull it up with it.
A massive amount of games. 107 games?
All of them win.
No, let me pull up what season. I think they're season 2 or 3. They've been. Oh, it's the wrong one. Stop rolling ones, not the rolling ones. Season 3. They've been in the league since season 3. So, they've been around forever.
This is it, and you're looking at those. They got some roids all over the lineman and the thrower, which is nice. That thrower is a beautiful piece. I had a movement 8 thrower before now. He had strong arm accurate rather than agility 5 accurate. But that is the range on that guy. If you're talking pure numbers, the longest you can throw 13 squares plus the 8 plus 2 go for it is, phenomenal. The pitch is only 26 squares long, for fuck's sake. That guy can cover it pretty much on his own. And reliably on a 3+. Beautiful. The tree movement 3, he's getting up. You're not going to worry about putting the guy down because he's just going to stand up again unless you're coming in with claw. And those warriors in the previous will have fun in this game because you've got to cut the claw pieces, the tentacles. We knock the strength 4 tentacle pieces, but where you've got catchers, they ain't getting away in a hurry. But we have got that greased up deal guy with over 400 star player points. This guy looks like he's been around the block.
He has. He's
If the block, you mean the end zone every game 7 times, then yes.
114 touchdowns scored in 95 matches.
Wow.
Just a thing. 95 successful catches. So he's basically got a catch in every single game.
Yeah.
This guy is insane.
Yeah.
He's
He's no veggie oil, but he's a close second.
He's no veggie oil, but then he's got his other 2 catchers, which are very sidestep. Blodger Raj with guard is, I think, amazing. Sidestep with fend is even, I like that too. You're sidestepping and then getting away from them. But I don't know. I really like this team. I think it's it's taken some damage. There's some players that are not on it anymore that have been around. I think Buttons is their 2nd or 3rd tree.
What I don't like about Buttons, and I'm going to chuck some controversy out here, break tackle. Why would you ever put break tackle on a Wood Elf tree? He doesn't need to move. He doesn't need to go chasing players. He doesn't need to be breaking from tackles. He needs to stand in the middle and smash shit, and the other guys run from one side of the pitch to the other and keep doing it till the other opponent has got no clue what he's fucking doing, and then score. Buttons should not be cage diving.
I'll
Go
tell
on.
you why.
Why not? Why not?
They only have access to strength skills, and at some point you run out of things to take.
You do, but I would take multiple
He's
block
got
before
guard.
that. Multiple block before that.
Multi-block, yeah, okay, maybe multi-block. But there's going to be a time you might want to move him. Again, multi-block's nice and fun and with the stat, but there's going to be a time where maybe you do want the tree somewhere because he's got the guard. Like, I don't know about cage diving. It could just be someone's marked him and you just rather him be marking 2 guys.
Yeah, and Mello has pointed out you run out of good options. I know this. I really do know this. You run out of good options, and that's the point where he's movement 3, so you can't sack him. But he's a loner, and as soon as you hit the blitz button or something, he takes root, and then you can't re-roll that, and then he dodges and rolls a 1, or he's bunged in a skull. Wood elf treemen are not there to hit shit. They're there to stand in the way. That's it. I've known many a
It just gives you an
person.
option should you need to move it. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, multi-block, maybe multi-block first, but he'll get multi-block next. Like unless you roll
Hmm.
doubles for pro
Yeah, maybe.
or block.
Maybe, yeah.
I would probably take pro over block. I would think with a tree.
Possibly he'll jump up. He's movement 3, so you might not need that, but it makes him quick from the ground.
No. If you hadn't got movement up, I think you
Jump up's definite.
Because he's already got. Yeah, if you didn't have movement 3, do jump up for sure. Because it's a tree. Because
Yeah.
he's got the movement 3 and standing up's not a problem. I would say pro to avoid the roots. And since you've given him break tackle, right? If you do that route, right?
Yeah. It's
he has stand for.
Yeah, he
It's
does. I
maybe
think
they come with it.
NR7's having a little bit of a laugh and a joke there. I think I did play a high elf coach once who tried to one-turn me by Dauntless blitz into the tree and then told me he'd only just realised I had stand firm. It's a fucking tree. What do you expect? You know.
I'm gonna let you know though. You can talk to Rez, but the movement on that tree has been pretty nice addition.
Yeah.
I mean, not the movement, but the break tackle on that tree.
That's fair enough.
Movement 3 tree. He's fast as all hell, and he's now Agi 6. You know, like on the break tackle. So.
Yeah, no,
See,
I'm okay
RJ's
with it,
RJ's just said. You just said that he didn't have to move, which I did. Why would he need jump up? Jump up helps you get off the floor, not move. Movement 2, it's a 4+ to get up. Jump up means he's standing back on his feet. Dwarf teams, orc teams and stuff like to knock the tree down so then they can bully the elves. If not, they've got to go around this centerpiece. So you knock him down, he gets straight back up unless you break armor. That's why jump up, pure and simple. It's better than block on a wood elf tree, in my opinion. Yeah, we did also. He did say he's movement 3. Did say he's movement 3, and we did highlight that. If he didn't have, definitely.
Yeah, if he didn't have.
Yeah, if not, I'd take block
Even
on the
with,
guy.
it's
To be
not
fair.
Bad, but yeah, even it's not bad. But yeah, no block.
Yeah.
Again, I would even argue pro is more used because he's a loner.
Yeah.
And because he's strength 6, he's gonna get 3 dies a lot. That I think block's a little less important than it is on the strength 5 loner.
Yeah.
Right, I think he's gonna get up 3 die hits that makes up for the not having block.
Carrot's saying that
But, again,
movement
I would never turn it
3 is better than jump up. I think that's very subjective. Movement 3 coming from the ground is worthless because you stand up and stand still. Jump up, you've got 2 more squares. You're as quick, or if not quicker, than a dwarf. That said, if you're stood, movement 3 as soon as your route is irrelevant. It's trees don't tend to go far very quick, so they just need to stay in the center, hopefully not even be activated, or move 1 square or possibly 2 top. 3 can be very nice, I'm not going to dispute that. The movement 3 jump up question is very subjective as to which is better.
Yeah, I think
I would take whichever one I was given first time. I'd take whatever I was given instantly first time.
Yeah. Because you're not very often gonna. I don't. Is there any way to roll? Because movement's what? Is that 10?
Yeah, movement's
10.
11. Movement's a 10.
10. So if you roll, so if you roll double 5s and you had the choice between the two, I don't think. I think it's 6 of one, half dozen of the other. I think you're okay either way.
If I was given the choice, if I
less points, is it
no, they're both 30. They're both 30.
Okay.
Here's the deal. We're talking way too much about this damn tree.
Let's go.
So let's
Can
continue.
I just answer Clown Zombies? Roll a double 5. What do you take? I'd take jump up because I don't need the guy to be moving great distances on the pitch, but I need him to get up and possibly move to where he needs to be to tag somebody. And that's a wood elf tree. That's what I would take. Some people go for block. That's their choice. Halfling tree, definitely block.
Never block.
Never block on a wood elf tree.
Well, I wouldn't even go block on a halfling tree if it's your first double. You want him to stand up.
You do. Halfling trees need to be destroying shit though. I would go jump up every
destroy stuff on a
line on the
plus
floor.
to stand
No,
up.
nope.
You're not doing anything on the floor. The first thing I do is I knock that tree to the ground and
Of course.
say, hey, roll 4+ to stand up again.
Yeah, and you can't use halflings to assist at the moment, can you?
Clown's only makes a really good point. If you get jump up, then your next skill could be pile on, and then your
Yes, it can. But you can't pile on if you're rooted. But anyway,
Yeah,
let's look at the rest of the team. He's got a tasty little war dancer with Dauntless. That could come in helpful this division. Trouble is, these guys and their Mighty Blow dancers are going to enjoy playing the Norse. There is Norse in this pool, isn't there?
Yep.
Yes, there is.
Norse, so it's a different kind of Norse. So just we'll get to that next. But
yeah, but Norse like beating up on Wood Elves, so yeah. They've got a sprinkling of agility all over, which is nice. I like this team. It looks like it could be a nice one.
Yeah,
it is a nice one.
It is a reason to around in there.
Their regular season Angels, like they always do really well. Except for last season, they had a rough season. But most of the time, they do. You know, they'll win 5-6 games in the regular season and then lose first round of the playoffs or whatever. You know, it happens. They haven't done much. Huh?
They're the Leafs.
Sorry, hockey reference. Yeah. They are. That's the thing. They Rez is a great coach, but I mean they're Wood Elves, so I mean they can do a lot of damage, or they can get just totally mauled to death. So
Mellow, we all know about
in tabletop because it's resurrection.
Yeah,
so your injuries don't carry over, and here they do.
I'd like to point out we all know about Aaron. And Aaron's a good friend of mine, but his Wood Elf play is unique to him only. He can throw whatever he wants, where he wants, and it seems to just work. His play style is so aggressive, it's unbelievable. I think I am 3-1 up in head-to-heads with him, but yeah, he's got a unique play style, so don't judge a Wood Elf team by the way he plays, because it's going to end up very bad, because I don't know how he does it. I have no idea. It shouldn't work. It shouldn't work. And his stat-ups on his war dancers are horrendous, but that's an area, and he's a freak of nature. And his kid was born on the same day as my kid, so there's another thing. Should we? Yeah, 14th of February, 18th of February. Sorry. Let's go to the Norse.
Oh, the Norse. These guys have been around the block of 5 or 6. Chase is basically for a while there he was the only Norse. Back when we had like 3 Norse in one season, then 2 of them dropped out like week 2 of the same season, and then all of a sudden it was just Chase and his Soul Saver. I don't know, maybe it was. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Soul Saver is just. I don't know, but he's basically if you think of Chase, you think of
Norse.
Norse. You think he's a Norse, but he did play Khemri for 4 seasons or so. But I don't know. This team's good. He's a good coach. He's a good Norse coach. He came back for 1 season and made the pros, so that's to say something, right? So.
Nothing jumps out on me except for the one thing that's really odd to me is he's got accurate on a runner.
He's a throwing. Look, how many times is that thing thrown?
Let's have a look. Han YOLO.
Just a thrower. It's not a double.
Yeah, he's where's his passing yards? 144, 7 passes in 39 games.
Like I'm just thinking, you roll doubles. And I'm all for quirky plays and stuff, but that's a double.
Yeah, double on a runner for me. You God Almighty Blow.
Mighty Blow.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to point out one reroll.
Yeah, I saw that.
On a lineman.
Yeah.
Leader on a lineman.
Although again, take a thrower and just level him up once for leader, and it's the same thing.
And accurate, and there you go. Yeah.
I'm just saying, a thrower actually. We're bad mouthing Norse throwers, but we're talking you need to put both those skills on a leveled up thrower, and it shaves TV off your team.
He's got a nice Yeti.
This team's been around since season 4.
Yeah.
Has it really? Let's look at his statistics. He's got 25 wins, 12 draws, 28 losses. So he's put the game time in there. He's got 55 odd games.
Just for the record, even Carrot thinks that's quirky.
Yeah.
Again, it could work. Again, I like options. It gives options, but I'm just saying you could have at any time. Again, maybe there hasn't been that depth of Norse to get. But I know there was actually. I don't know if he brought a transfer in this season or not. But I know Royk had a Norse. He was a thrower that was basically a copy of mine, which was an Agi 4 blodging, sure-handed thrower. And if you could bring in a player like that as that do that runner, it's basically the same thing, but accurate won't be a double.
Isn't throwers movement
catcher,
6 though? Aren't throwers movement 6?
7.
Yeah.
7. So
Are they 7?
Yeah.
What
7.
for a Norse thrower?
Yeah, they're 7.
No, the 6. Only the runners are 7 on the Norse team.
Yes, he's saying runners.
No,
he
I'm
said the
saying
thrower.
thrower. I'm asking, is the thrower movement? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So having the movement 8 runner with the movement up, is a big, I guess, Han Yolo is a transfer in though. I don't know what that.
Okay.
If it was last season or this season, but he did transfer Han Yolo in from somebody. I can't remember.
One thing I picked up on.
The runner, like it's that again. I don't know. I would like a thrower and then you build in it like I don't know. I just seems weird to me. I don't.
Who's he going to throw the ball to? Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like he doesn't even have a second runner on this team.
Not yet, but he's got. He's got room to grow. He's only 1670 TV, and he's got a bench.
No, for sure. Again,
he's only got one berserker though. He's only got the one berserker, so it'd be interesting to see if he picks that up. I'm a big fan of.
I take run over berserker.
Can I make a statement over something real quick that I've noticed a lot in our playpool reviews?
What's that?
I really wish people would organize their teams better. Okay, on a team sheet, because this is bugging me so much.
Yeah.
Like they're not organized at all, and I'm like, where's this Olfs and where's his lineman and where's his Yeti? I mean, it's like, come on, people, let's get a little organization up in here, please.
See, when you look at my Vamps, other than I think I got Lord Jofro top because he's the captain, so he gets number 1. All the throwers are listed in an order, so they were grouped together by the one that's got the most important skills at the top, following all the way down. So the shit guys at the bottom, they go at the bottom until they earn the right. You just don't randomly stick them all up. I mean, number 11, he should be sat in at number 12 right now because he's the first to go.
Yeti should be on the top or up close to the top at least.
I can justify if you put the Yeti in at Dolph's first, Berserkers, then the runners, then the Yeti, then because he's a positional. But yeah, he's definitely in the top bunch.
If you look at my team's split up by who's got the most skills. It's not even about what's the most important. It's the longest bar is on top, and then it goes down for each set. And then if I'm gonna break it, I have a space in between. I don't know.
I completely get you. Let's have a look at the next team, the Kemri, and see if they've done something. It's Teddy, so I'm reckoning Teddy has done it right, and he's divided his team up as it should be.
Oh yeah.
Look at
maybe
that.
as by the book as you can imagine.
Look
at that.
This is.
That's how it should be done.
Teddy wasn't here earlier. Thank you, Teddy. I appreciate you.
Let's see if Teddy's about still. Come on, a big shout out for Teddy. He's in the chat group, so maybe.
Yes, Clown,
there
it's
he
the
is.
same thing.
There he is.
People who don't set up a symmetrical defense. It's the same exact feeling. If you don't have a symmetrical defense, I'm triggered. And that I might have just said a weakness of mine. But
I've been playing this game since my return competitively, just over 10 years, and I'm only just getting my head around an asymmetrical defense. It's just like it shouldn't work, but yeah.
It's the only way it works. If you don't have an asymmetrical defense, you're gonna lose, man. That's how it happens.
Yeah, you can't. And if you lose a player, and it's like if you've got 4 normally and you've got 3, it's like, well, where does the other one go? Because I don't want him sat in the middle. And it's like, what the fuck do I do now? And it's like, how do you deal with 5 dwarfs if you had... Oh,
look at that. So Eddie Raja, number 7, is a transfer from Chase's old Camry team. When Chase went Norse, he transferred Eddie Raja over to...
So he's going to be returning to play against his former coach.
Yeah, he's going to play against his former coach this season. That'll be a big story right there.
Yeah.
I do want to point out that his Blitzras and his throw raws are stupid. Look at that vampire raw, the vampire throw raw.
Yeah.
Oh my Lanta. Now that he got injured, he lost his helmet. He's walking around with no helmet now, so he's a little lower on his AV, but I mean that's still beautiful looking.
But that guy has got everything he needs right there. He's
Yep.
picking up on twos. Anyone that wants to fight with him is going to get a slap in the chops, and he's bludgeon. The guy he'd be a dream for a Wood Elf team, apart from his slow movement.
This is like jealousy on a whole new level from Khemri teams. Like the other two Khemri teams we had didn't even have a single Agi 3. Well, they had like a couple. One of them had a couple, but this is the Agi 3 on Agi 4 on a piece that you want Agi 4. Like, man.
Well, Teddy's saying he got busted 4 seasons ago, so he's still, you know, he's still going strong.
Is he just MNG then right now?
Must be.
See, stat downs on regen is not as it's MNG. Stat downs on regen is not as scary, I guess.
We're looking at what we're looking at. The Tomb Guardians are a nice bunch. I saw these play season before last, and they were dishing out some severe pain. I think he's replaced one, number 3 since. I'm not sure. But they're going to cause problems for people. I've seen him play these recently. He's going to cause problems. He's got a lot of strength in that team.
I love the way he's leveling up. He's got it's Mighty Blow guard, stand firm, unless you roll doubles. Like I love the way he levels up his Tomb Guards.
Yeah, I think arguably that has to be the way. You could argue to swap Mighty Blow guard around, but I think the position that Teddy's in within the league, he's looking for pushing for playoffs and such like. Guard will win games, but he needs to get the Tomb Guardians up and running to speed quickly, so it needs to be Mighty Blow first.
Which I mean, he's got guard on 3 of them now, and he'll have Mighty Blow or guard on.
And he's got guard on a so he's got 4 guards.
Well, here's a story for you. Teddy said in the chat that each, I'm guessing that's every player, or is it just the Tomb Guardians, is named after the coach that killed them, the previous Tomb Guardian.
We have Gimlet, we have Sturmjarl, we have Gerd, and we have Disco, who have killed previous Tomb Guardians.
That is a nice tribute. I like that. That's cool. I like that. I really do. I like this team. I like the way it's laid out. I like that little gimmick. I just think, this is good.
I like the team, and Teddy's a great coach. I mean,
yes, he is.
There's rumors going around that he's actually not even a coach; he's a robot, because he's so
that
precise.
was Chase, but okay.
Chase is a chase bot. That's different. Okay, I'm talking about on the pitch. It's precise. And Teddy's just a robot. You know, he's like a Gerd, but not as lucky apparently.
And he's got kick. Right, let's move on. We've got some Underworld. Oops, somebody's disappeared.
Oh, Rand, maybe?
Rand's gone. I think he's...
I'm back. Sorry.
He's back. So we're going Underworld. Legends of Spawn.
The Fox legend, the fake legendary coach that is legendary, non-legendary, Spawn is Cthulhu. I don't know.
11 wins.
Fairly into the league, so I'm not sure you understand Spawn's history, but this team is new, but his history in the league has been one of mass lies and
deceit.
Fake.
I thought his history was legendary, but okay.
No.
Well, see,
actually, we did hear about his. You did hear about his play that retired the Grunts yesterday from Preach. I mean, they didn't explain the play. We do have a gift running around, but this is the coach. This is the YOLO play. This is the coach that had the play that ended up leading, not necessarily fully, but leading towards the Grunts' retirement. So.
Can I just interject quickly? We did miss Teddy's player record with Khemri: 34 wins, 10 draws, 19 losses. That's impressive for any Khemri team, and he has been, as long as I know it, he's been messing around in the pros and playing top coaches with that. So hats off to that. So
no, he's got a great record with them.
Yeah.
So real quick, Spawn's in the pros. I want to let you guys know Spawn came into the season 14 Challenge League on week 3. He only played week 2. He only played 5 games last season. And he still went with this team. He went 4-1, 4 wins, 1 draw, no losses with this team, with this Underworld team in the CL last season, and that's how he got promoted. So that's just a little bit of history on this team. They came in, they only played five games and didn't lose.
Something that jumps out for me with this coach, you say he's an experienced coach. You look at the troll, and he's taking tentacles before claw. Now, for me, a lot of people go for the easy option or the simple, what would look as the logical option of claw. Yet that guy will hold things in places. He doesn't need to activate him again. It doesn't need to go stupid, and just says, your job is look after those two pieces. Meanwhile, my actual proper killers, the Skaven Blitzers, are going to do the job. And that's a sign of an experienced coach.
I love tents on a Warpstone troll versus claw. I mean, a lot of people will go claw first, which I sometimes will even do, but I think tents is a really good choice.
There's nothing.
I think it's the better choice. I don't. Yeah. I see tents more than I see claws on Underworld Troll.
There's nothing wrong with
claw. I actually
claw.
Can't picture one without tents.
But tents is definitely
it. One of the fields, I see the tents graphic. So.
He does have he does have the enough altar, and he is coming in at pretty low TV. So you're gonna see him with some at home, anyways. You'll see him with some cheap stars coming in. So.
Well, this is it. You're packing in that Skaven assassin dude, Skitter, and like someone said before, the trouble is he's not going to get him star player points, but he will get him wins. The beautiful thing with this team is they don't need to be putting star player points on things like goblins and crap like that. They need to be winning the games, and if he keeps their TV low by sucking up all those star player points, that means he's playing the next game and the next game and the next game, and in him they've got a match winner. Meanwhile, the Blitzers do their thing, and whoever else does their thing, happy days.
Okay, can I just point this out real quick? Have you checked out his stats yet? Because he's only played 16 games. They've scored 23 touchdowns. They've inflicted 45 casualties and 10 kills. With
11 wins, 1 draw, 4 losses.
This is. I mean, he's not legendary, but he's a good coach. He's a really good coach.
Yeah.
And you can see, just with this team, which is Underworld, is a gimmick team, they're not supposed to win a lot, and he's very successful with them. I think he's been pretty lucky with the injuries on them. He doesn't have any permanence, and it doesn't look like he's been taking too much casualties, but I like the way he's leveling up all his guys. He's got a leader piece, he's got a ball carrier, he's got 2 killers, and then his line rats.
It's going to be a fun team to watch. It'll be
here's something interesting for you. The Skaven, obviously they come with animosity, and it's unlikely they're going to want to throw to another Skaven because they're likely to be tied up or in a different way. Things get out in the open. If he fails animosity to something like a Goblin, his only option is something of the same race. He can't even throw the ball away. But Skitter, being a Skaven, is a target that's a very viable option.
Yeah,
and no animosity roll needed.
Riggin or Addin is the way to go.
Yeah.
Skitter's a great option for Underworld.
And it depends on where they go with the future. We're talking about the future of Unknown. But now Skaven have got some really tasty little star players coming with... You've got not Fezlit. Choose the Blitzer, one with claw. What's his name, Junior?
Strength 4 one, right? Glart or whatever.
Glart Junior. Well, Glart's now in as well. So Glart and Glart Junior, 2 lovely Blitzers. Which, if you was to stick those with the pair he's got there, if they bring it into Blood Bowl 2, it's going to be tasty, very tasty. Yeah. So this could cause some upset. This team could. They're the glass cannon.
I like this team. I like this team a lot. And like the good coach who's a rat coach. Spawn is a 87 Skaven coach to the core since like season 2 almost basically. So he knows what it's like with the 87. He knows how to position and he knows how to minimize the damage taken. So you'll see. This will be a team to watch. If they're on Twitch and they're playing, and you have time to watch, I'd watch them every time. 100% good.
So let's go over to Jim and his high elves.
Oh God, the worst team in the play pool. So Jim's shtick, the rolling one shtick, is just to kind of roll dice and pray to Nuffle, and it works because they're elves. So he's not. I mean. He gets out positioned He gets outmaneuvered, but yet he just prays enough when it works. So that's that. I have no animosity towards this team whatsoever. I promise. I'm just saying truths here.
So what I got from that is he's better than you, and you're blaming him for his dice, and being fortunate.
Another one of those, those late season losses that put me out of the playoffs with Nurgle in the last couple seasons. So
yeah,
there's that.
But again, this team are different sort of roids. These are all on speed or on the agility, high agility or movement upgrades. It's like where are they farming these plays?
Snorting cocaine, snorting warp dust before they get out of the field. What's happening?
18 wins, 6 draws, 11 losses. Scoring for fun, it looks like. 982 yards passing.
Yeah, 83 touchdowns.
And Teddy's pointed out that they're organised on the roster.
Yep, they are.
So you hate this coach even more now, don't you?
No, I like this coach. Jim, I like Jim. I hate this team.
No, the team. I mean, the team.
Yeah.
He's
he
organised.
likes organized. He likes
yeah,
organized.
no, but the fact he's done it with this team must really great.
Yeah, I just want to see the team.
Like the team more, but
Jim and I
are great guys.
Jim's a cracking guy. Clown Zombies is saying that he thinks there might be some playoff history. Have we got any? No. The rolling ones against the stop rolling ones. 6-5.
I knew. Yeah, that was the shootout, but that was a bowl. Was it a bowl game or was it a league game last season? I can't. Let me look it up real quick.
The Scavengers beat them 4-2 at the end of last season. I don't know whether that was a playoff or something. Yeah, Teddy's just shouted out he's been in the playoffs 5 times out of 6 with his Camrys. Very like we say, part robot.
These guys only made the playoffs in season 12 of the CL and then lost to Bill Cowher Power Hour.
Yeah.
But they've been in the season for the last. They've been in the pros the last 2 seasons, so they've been around.
I know they've been struggling. I know he said because Jim has said in the past that this is a team that came up to the pros. I think in their first after their first season of CL.
Yep.
He's found it very hard to continue developing them in the pros against the tougher pool. He thinks that the best path for a team is 2 years in the CL and then your development. You want at least 2 years in the CL to come into the pros pro ready. And because he did really good in his CL year and the Elves and Jim's new coach, he came in, but he said the team has had trouble developing because he came into high.
Yeah, I can see that.
Teams, and it's again he's almost 1900 TV now, and he's got 3 IG5s. So he's going to do stuff, but this is what I've talked about with some of the other teams that have come up early, and I've said that stunts their growth. It'll make it tough for him. He said that, and again, these guys are still a solid team, lots of skills, but we've looked at grosser elf teams.
Well, I'd like to just point out now, come the end of the season when we're discussing my progress and where I finished in the league, I'm going to remind you that Jim recommended at least 2 seasons in the CL.
Yeah.
That's going to be my excuse.
Well, and again,
I have like 6 seasons in the CL with Plague Inc. So I mean,
and you're still not pro ready. And you're still not pro ready.
Well,
I'm way pro ready. My coaching ability.
Yeah.
My coaching ability is not pro ready.
Yeah, and Cloud Zombies points out. Cloud Zombies has pointed out it's a very healthy team. It's looking good. I like this team.
It's a very healthy team up until we get to our next team, though.
Yeah. So where are we going? We are going to Dwarfs.
Yeah. It's Rand's favorite team pool.
Here's the deal. I've played against half this play pool in league games, so I'm.
So have I. This is what the 2 pools is. Guys are all showing me how to, other reason I'm still in the CL.
This was my human. I played against this team with my humans, and I was a miscalculation away from marching down and winning 1-0 against dwarves with humans, which would have been beautiful. And I miscounted how far his Troll Slayer away. His Troll Slayer dodged away and killed my guy and took the ball.
So what you're saying is you didn't have enough fingers and thumbs on one hand.
I couldn't count high enough. Which I mean, it's one hand. It's only one hand I was using. You know, I was holding the controller with the other hand, and I just ran out of room. Really, what happened was I'd been drinking and I didn't count. I just put my thrower there. I was like, oh, he can't reach it, and then he reached it, and it was game over.
Well, he's bracketing with.
This would have been my team. My human team would have been right here if that win had gone through. It would have been opposites. So.
Well, he's got 13 wins, 5 draws, 2 losses, which is impressive. Very impressive.
He's a good coach, and his positioning with dwarves. Again, he plays dwarves in a way. His defense does things that I was like, okay, I've been defending wrong with dwarves. Dwarves are kind of my go-to new team in anything.
Yeah, I'd like to.
It is partially because I'm, they're easy, a little bit easy mode. But he does.
See, I need to cut in right there and dispute that. The common misconception with dwarves is that easy mode. They all come with block. They got tackle, the thick skull, the armor 9, and they're all great things. But I took them to a tournament not so long ago, and in the build-up to and during the play-in, I found every single game was hard work, because if you position wrong in turn 2, you're paying for it on turn 6 still. You get one square to the left wrong, you're paying for that 2 or 3 turns later. And the one game I lost that weekend was I chose to blitz with a Slayer, which I got 2 sets of pushes. I'd set up all the guard right, I'd done everything right apart from that, but because I did that, it had pulled that slightly out of position, which meant those few guys are all tied up, and then all of a sudden I've got a problem. And it come down to one mistake. I think it was on the 2nd or 3rd turn, and it was turn 6 or 7 that I paid for that mistake, because it's so hard to recover from. Positioning has to be absolutely spot on.
And Magoo does it, so he's got all these beautiful players and a solid dwarf team, and he does not make positional mistakes.
No, and if you play like that,
people don't hate dwarves because of easy mode. People hate dwarves because when they're played well, they are almost hard or impossible to beat. They're not impossible. They're almost, when they're played by a good coach. Like we had a coach Midway Monster for a long time that played dwarves, and it was the scariest dwarf. That's why people don't like it. Same with tabletop, back in the day. Same with Warp Fantasy. Like dwarves. Yeah. People are always like, why do dwarves get so much hate? It's not because new people come in and play them in their easy mode. It's because when they're played well, they're just the worst team to play against. That's like, I hate. They're no fun.
They're forgiving because
they will shut you. They're forgiving for new players, but if you're playing well, they will shut you down.
Yeah.
They will stop every single game plan you have. They'll be like, nope, can't do that. Sorry. And that's why people don't like it.
Well, Teddy summed it up in the chat, and he said they're a team that you need to concentrate on not screwing up position. Then they look after themselves. It's like playing solitaire. If you get your positional play right, they tend to look after themselves. If you get that wrong, you've had it. If you've got a rookie or a new coach or somebody who's not used to playing that can't exploit those mistakes, that's a different thing, and that's the sort of coach that doesn't like the dwarves because he doesn't know how to exploit those errors. But they make a mistake, you exploit it, you're going to make them pay for it. Granted, on this team, he's got the runner that's super fast. He's got a sprinkling of agility and strength in some nice places, but as a whole, the team is built nice.
Yeah, it's a very well built team.
Lodge runner, and a fast runner.
Yeah.
Right, so he's got the ability to get, and technically at moving 8 and frenzy galore, he could one turn. Not too much difficulty, right? Like he could actually a movement 8 piece with that much frenzy to push stuff. It would not be the hardest thing in the world to pop a one turn.
I would like to see a dwarf one turn.
You can do it without this double movement up.
Yeah.
Right. It can be done.
Yeah.
Because of all the frenzy. You give 2 movement up, and now it's it's not that hard with a movement. It can be done with a human team at movement 8 with pieces. You push with frenzy.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Before we start this game, and I'll be right back. No
worries.
Finish up with
it's the thing that gets me. I mean, he's got options on this team which I like, depending on what he's playing, depending on who he's playing. When I was playing tournament player, I only went with 1 Slayer, took the 2 runners. and it shocked a lot of people when I was playing that I would on offense only run with the one runner, because 7 tackle on the field is lovely. But on defence, I'd bring the second runner, and someone questioned why, and it's about using the runners and the slayers as, for those that understand rugby, you would with your wingers and your fullback, that when one commits into the line, the other 2 come back and cover. And then if you go the other flank, you haven't got to bring players all the way across, you just shuffle that back 3, and they work really well like that. And with the movement 8, the agility 4, 2 slayers, he could potentially drop one runner as a defensive runner and maybe use one as an offensive. He's got a great sweeper in that movement 8. Absolutely beautiful sweeper. He doesn't have to have block. He doesn't.
On defense anyway, so when you pop the ball loose, you have someone to pick up the ball, right?
Yeah, I mean, even then, I don't necessarily agree with that. It's something I like to do with lizards as well. If the ball gets popped, you don't need to pick it up and run the risk of picking it up. You just need to stop them picking it up. And dwarves, lizards with the tail on the crocs and such like are good at killing the game. And I'm guessing Teddy's done this before with Camry. If the ball's gone down, I ain't going to bother trying to pick it up and running, risking silly rubbish stuff going on. I'm going to park these players around here. You're not having the ball, so you're not longer scoring. Obviously on offence it's different, but on defence, I tell you, if he wins every game 1-0, he'll never complain. And he would have played his team perfectly.
Yep.
You know, and it's a concept that's hard to get when the adrenaline's pumping and you're raring to go and you've just knocked that ball loose. I mean, Davo, we got hopefully still got some of his guys watching, is an advocate of the 3-step process. The first one, you've got to get the ball. The second one, you've got to recover the ball, and then you've got to protect the ball. In some cases, some teams don't need that. They just need to pop it loose and kill the game.
Yep. And your team while you're at it.
Yeah, and Teddy's just said there, and it's normal, have fun trying to get out of the sideline, because he's just pinned it against wherever, and he said, you're not having it. You don't always need that step 3. It depends if you're recovering it or killing it. And dwarves are not going to recover the ball and run away with it, and the movement 4, they're going to kill the game.
This team is stupid good coach.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm back,
He's
by the
gonna
way.
do well.
He's going to do well. It's not a bad pool. It's not a bad play pool either. I mean, he's got
3 elves. 3 elves, 2 elves, 2 elves, and a.
He's got Underworld,
team.
which the Underworld team, he's going to go heyday with the goblins because all his dwarves will just kill him. You know.
Yeah.
Skaven, I mean, he's got a good. The Norse might have a little trouble, or might give him a little trouble with, but I don't think he's too worried about Norse. Cameron, he's got Slayers to knock down.
And he's got lots of Mighty Blow, which the Norse aren't going to like. And again, they all have blocks. It's not like it's like one of the things the Norse like is teams that don't have block on everyone, because my line opens, your line has block. I'll 1 die. But the dwarves, they have just as much block. They have guard, which again easier access to guard, but he's got more guard and as much, if not more, Mighty Blow. In the Bash Fest, you're gonna have to. I think especially that Norse team and this dwarf team, I face the advantage there. So I would say he's got 4 favorable advantages in this pool.
Well, let's have a look at the last team, and then we'll talk about winners, losers, and draws and why.
The cheating wet bandits. The bunch of
wet bandits, fire takers, rats. Should we start with his stats? Shall we? Let's have a look.
Oh, they're gonna be good. Fire Talker's a good coach. He's just a cheater.
Especially when he gets to play against Rand.
He's got 17 wins, 4 draws, and 5 losses, which is very respectable. Very respectable.
I will let you know, Doom, when you say play against Rand, Rand has not given him any of those wins or any of those losses. Rand has given him 2 or 3 of those draws. Okay. I have only ever drawn with Fire Talker in league play.
Okay.
Well, Carrot's saying
he
it's
also outbashed.
Sorry, he hit your Nurgle. That's what it was, right?
He outbashed my Nurgle.
Yeah, outbashed your Nurgle. But it was still a tie. He just beat your team up.
Don't listen to Carrot. Carrot lost every game last season except for 1 game against the humans where he got lucky and got a draw. But was that me? God, that was me again. God, I've had a bad couple seasons, and I'm not salty about it. I promise.
See, I'm glad we've not played now, because otherwise you'd be salty with me and all.
I'm not salty with everybody, just a few people.
Just the ones you've played that have beat you.
No,
Except for me, because he just
no.
kills my players.
I like
never-
Fire Talker.
we've-
He's never, you know.
Randall
the-
played me
from-
3 times, and he doesn't. He's
Yeah.
not salty about our games.
That's because I've destroyed like half your team in 3 games.
Well,
So let's
in 2 to
stay
3.
focused.
Yeah, let's stay focused.
Let's stay focused. We've
Right
got
on Fire Talker's Dirty Rats.
yeah, he's got a nice killer vermin, which is good. The strength 4.
that's my rat.
That's your
By
right.
the way,
Is it?
Lick It is mine. I gave it to him last season.
He's got a couple of tasty looking line rats. Now I'm not a fan of giving line rats much, but he's got a kick with agility 4, and he's got a strength 4 agility 4 dude, which is just, you know,
Blow.
yeah,
Kill him, blow.
yeah.
I don't like it on line rats. These stats. I ran that with my Norse. I got a strength up and I gave it to him. And when he died, I was like, nope, not halfway, because Rand was right. That is pure blood.
Well, this is it. He's got
That is not where you
110k on
want
a
your
line rat there, when realistically it should be 70k for kick. Then just before he levels up, have another one ready to go. You might want a couple of wrestle rats, but keep that TV low so you can keep pumping out wizards while they're still the 150k ones we got.
Wrestle dodge. That's all you
And
want.
and
Wrestle dodge.
let the gutter runners do their thing. It's about those 6 top players that he's got. Unfortunately, he's got a rookie and one just past that. Couple looking
Well,
not too bad.
unfortunately, Gutter Runners
Significant
score
gut-
quickly.
They
You won't
do.
get done away from them.
They
Gutter
do.
Runners got beat up last season. That's why his gutter runners don't look magnificent. He lost, I think.
I didn't help with
skill
that. I didn't injure a single rat last season or the season before.
No, I think
so.
it was his ball getting one too. It was his cage diver. It was the wrestle dauntless. That's
Yeah,
the
that one did die. You'll notice a lack of a thrower.
Yeah, I've got no
Fire
issue with that.
Talker's- Fire Talker's very against rat throwers, whereas like all the other rats that we've seen have throwers.
Yeah, no, I've got no issues with that. The gut runners can do it. Plus, he's got
Yeah,
those
hand
2
it
line
off.
rats that are capable. So
See, the line rat might be the thing, but I don't believe in letting gutter ratters stay back. And Skaven is like my favorite team. I used to play them all the time, but there's just too many in the league, so I didn't bring them in. But I feel like gutter runners should be out trying to score, not behind the line of scrimmage hiding with the ball.
yeah.
I like to use all 4 of them for that aspect, but that's just me, I guess. But
If the handoff is safe for them to throw, and they can just move a gazillion squares and hand it off to the gutter runner that's in scoring position from the back.
Yeah, and Teddy talks about the underworld thrower being better, and he is largely because he's strength 3 on a team that's full of strength 2. Mutation access is always nice, but yeah, I can live and love, or take and not bother with throwers. They're one of those
okay, but
subjective
They're not-
personal preference things, a bit like the orc thrower maybe. They're a beautiful
no,
piece.
it's not at all like the orc thrower. The orc thrower sucks.
Yeah, but
The rat
when-
thrower is okay.
when you put him in the team, maybe you're right. I mean, you've got guys that will pick up on 2s, so that's better. You've got guys that can shift the ball quicker. Depending on how you play your guys, do you need to be throwing, or are you running a screen and playing the running game? It's personal preference on a lot of it. I get that the
Even
orc
if you
throwers
throw with the
different.
gutter runner, he's a he's +1 agility, so it's
Yeah.
still a throw than the. It doesn't have the reroll, but it's still a 2+.
Yeah.
If you're within 2 squares.
I mean, and then
Again,
you get into
you're moving
probability and statistics, and I think a 3+ with a reroll statistically is better than a 2+, but the fact remains, once you've rounded that first
Very
dice,
close.
it's still 66%. Once you've failed the first dice, it's 66%, and you only ever roll
actually
one
very
dice.
close.
Yeah, it is very close.
It's like
Slightly
within a
better.
Yeah, and it might be slightly better, but it is almost a wash. Basically,
Yeah.
any reroll compared to an agility plus action without the reroll is 2 to 3. Agi 4 to 3, 3 to 2. It's
And it all comes down to your view on the number. If you view probability, 3+ with a reroll is better. If you view the fact that if you roll a 1, I've got another opportunity, but anything else, and the gutter rudder would have made it, it's different. it depends on how, and you can only roll one dice at a time. But that's a different. That's a risk management option.
Yeah.
He's got a rookie roger. What's your thoughts?
It's not quite a rookie. He played a season, didn't level up. Like I said, it's the season of the Rogers, so all the rat teams. Seem
Yeah,
to want
they do.
Roger this year, so.
I'm very surprised at
The thing is,
this.
he lost gutter runners. I think what it does is it acts a little bit like a tree does to the wood elves, and it just clogs the middle up, and it forces guys away. It protects your other players. That's what it does. He's not out there to do much. He's not out there to, like, hopefully he kills and stuff. Because it's not a bash team, it's not the guard centerpiece a Yeti is, but it is. It's more of a tree than it is a Yeti.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
how it is. That and it's hopefully again because these rat elves, rats are the running version of a wood elf team.
But the thing about it is he's a wild animal, and he's not got any skill. So this guy's probably not blitzing. You're gonna want to blitz with your pylon, claw, mighty blow guys, or lick it. You're gonna want to blitz with those guys. So this guy probably really isn't doing much at all. Because he's only moving on a 4+ unless you can get him stuck on someone, and then he will be. But I don't see it as a good fit for this team right now. If it had like block, or if it had something break tackle, maybe.
If you put him in the middle of the field, though, even as if he wild animals, it doesn't turn off tail. It's not like Bonehead where
You're right.
tackles don't disappear. He's still a tail. He's still a strength 5 piece in the middle of the field. When he punches and moves, it's fine. It's going to be tough to dodge out of it because of his tail. It's not a bad piece.
So,
again, I actually like them more on early Skaven when you have TV to spare, because it just he's a big strengthy piece, and people are either going to ignore him, which then he goes around kills stuff, or they're going to focus more than 2 or 3 players on him, which protects your gutter runners, which is all you care about on a rat team.
See now.
Beautiful gutter runners.
The guys in the chat are asking, just before we sum up the division, what is the best big guy? Now, Teddy's chucked out the Chaos Minotaur being one of the best, and I think it's the Chaos Minotaur and the Norse Yeti, both one single skill away from becoming a killing machine, because they've either got claw or got easy access to, which is fine, but they're both blitzing pieces, same as the Rat Ogre. For me personally, I think the Crocs is probably the best big guy. He's the roadblock type rather than the blitzing type, but he's a 2+ to move where you want. It's got the tail and he can kill the game.
I don't know if I like that too much. I mean, here's the deal: if he boneheads, no tackle zones.
Yes, that is
no longer useful.
Yeah, the trouble, and you're absolutely right.
Action are only 2+ on things. See, Wild Animal Bonehead is better than Wild Animal because it's 2+, even if you want to move. Like something.
But
you say it's better, but they're probably equal, because you lose your tackle zones on Bonehead.
Yeah.
You don't lose your tackle zones on Wild Animals, so they're probably equal in that aspect.
Now here's the other part of the story. If you look at them as an individual on their own, then probably the Chaos Minotaur hands down. But the Chaos team are running with other claw killers, which makes the Minotaur redundant. Whereas
that's why you don't see minnows on that many Chaos teams.
No, whereas the Crocs is still running with Saurus.
And I would like to throw another one into the mix here. The argument
Ogre.
Human Ogre. I would like to throw the Ogre on the human team.
Yep. And that's the thing, is the Ogre and Crocs are the only 2 big guys that maybe not the only 2, but the 2 big guys that I feel like you have to use them. There's not a point where you replace them on the team like a lot of big guys. So they're like, oh well, I don't need them because I'm skilled up. An Ogre will be on a human team always, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And same with the Crocs. You're always gonna have the Crocs. It's just part of what lizards are. So
block on him. If you get blocked
I think
on the human Ogre.
I think you're right. I think if you go along with, you talk about the Tree Man or Wood Elf team, it's like, yeah, but you can play well without them. I personally enjoy them. You talk about the Yeti, I think he's a definite on a Norse team, but you can play without him.
They have 4 people. They have 4 people who can replace him, but he's the only person with claw. He's the only person with claw.
Yeah.
But
so you probably need him on, but I don't think he's as useful as or as needed. He's not needed. You know.
yeah,
So
whereas
the reason
the
the Norse need the Yeti is because they, again, AB7, you're a bash team. They're a bash team, but they're a bash team where you need to make sure that you're also protecting your guys against
Yeah.
stuff. And again, he ties up people because he's 9. The claw's great versus armor. It's the only access to the claw, which is great.
oh, there's a
But
shout.
yeah, when my Yeti's missing,
Plus disturbing
I
presence.
think
you have disturbing presence,
the third guy, you talk about the Crocs is always on a team and not replaced. You talk about the Ogres not replaced. I'd like to see a Nurgle team without a Beast of Nurgle, because
My Nurgle team would have one if I could bring myself to fire him.
but I
can't.
think the Beast of Nurgle is one of those players that you can just leave in the middle like a tree man in the Wood Elf team and just say, okay then, your problem, I'm going to play with these 10 guys.
Do you remember my team? I
Teddy's
have 3
different.
Beast of Nurgles. I have
Yeah.
3 Beast of Nurgles.
Yeah. Where Teddy's
And
saying he'd
2 of
rather
them
have the
don't
Rat
have
Ogre.
loner or the thing about the Beast of Nurgle that sucks the most about the Beast of Nurgle is it's really stupid.
Yeah.
The worst neg trait in the entire game. It's the worst trait.
I
Okay?
don't know.
You have
I'm
to have
going
a
to
guy
beg
next
to
to
differ
him.
with that. Bloodlust is worse.
No, because
I don't know if I consider that really a neg trait on like a big guy. I'm talking about big guy neg traits.
Yeah, okay then.
And we're
Yeah.
not talking a goblin really stupid with a troll. We're talking really stupid, like, you put a goblin next to a troll, whatever. You don't want your goblins next to other players anyways. On a
Yeah.
Nurgle team, whatever's basing the beast, you'd rather be basing an opponent.
Yeah.
Got my Rotters. I want my Rotters and my Nurgle Warriors on opponents. My Pestigor's free to blitz, but I have to have someone touching the Beast of Nurgle at all times. Like, what am I supposed to do? Like, you know?
So,
Right, gents, let's talk about our winner.
Oh God, I think this is the hardest one.
We said that yesterday too.
No, this is by far. But I've been thinking about it since we started this. Yeah, I'm gonna go with 2 players, 2 coaches. I feel like they're both gonna be the playoff teams for this season. I think it's gonna be Teddy and his Camry. Yeah, Teddy and Magoo. Yep.
I think Magoo's got more favorable matchup, and because he has the speed to score with a really good runner, I think he's gonna I think Camry might tie more games because, well, no, Teddy's got good scoring pieces for Camry. He's got some crazy.
Maybe not the first game, but Teddy's got a good game. Teddy literally makes the playoffs like every season.
Yeah.
Maybe not every season, but he's a playoff machine. Okay, and this is not a bad pool for him across the board.
It's a great pool for the dwarves. So yeah, I think we're gonna agree that they're
I
gonna go
think-
1-2 in a very close order.
I think we're looking at Teddy as the number 1, depending on how he can deal with those Rems Wood Elves.
Rez's, what else? Yep.
Yeah, because they look like they could cause problems to the dwarfs if they play well. They could definitely deal with the Skaven, potentially the High Elves. Khemri aren't a massive fan of agility-based teams if something goes wrong, but I do think Teddy's got everything he needs to deal with his player pool. His biggest downfall...
He's got the positioning too. Is
Yeah,
big thing,
so he should be able to, with that, protect against the claw. The dwarves, as great as they look, I think they're going to struggle against the Khemri. They're going to definitely struggle when they play in claw teams like the Chaos and even the Underworld. They might not lose against the Underworld, but the Underworld could put a couple of mistakes games on them. So my shout's got to be for Teddy, I think, with a close second, maybe the Wood Elves.
Okay. I'm going to go with Rand. I think it's between Teddy and Magoo, and I think it's going to be close. I'm going to pick Magoo just because, again, he came from my playpool last year.
You got to
So-
remember, there's not a ton of claw. Okay, I mean, there's only
No.
what, 2 on the
there's a
2 on the
lot- there's a
chaos.
lot of Fs.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of
Let's see,
places that his
two-
tackle is going to really annoy every other
2 claw on the chaos, 2 claw on the Wood Elves. I mean the Underworld, and 2 claw on the Skaven. And then
Yeah.
1 claw. So I mean, he's not playing against a lot of claw, and he's playing against a lot of agi low AV teams that his tackle's going to just destroy. So I feel like Magoo's going to have a decent season unless one of those claw pieces just goes to town in a game and takes 4 or 5 of his guys out, and then he's
Which can happen, yeah.
screwed for the season.
Could
Which
happen.
could happen easily.
Let's
Like,
assume, he apples well and again defends against it okay. It's been,
yeah.
but I think the bigger question is, okay, so wild card is pretty much any other team, I would argue.
See, I'm
They're
saying...
all, they could all have a chance to win it all.
Yeah.
They really do. This is super tight play pool.
I actually don't know who I would pick to do the worst. If I had to pick a wild card, I'm going to pick Legend because he is the lowest TV, and I think he is truly the biggest wild card in the sense that you would think of it. Like he's the dark horse.
Just his team. His team is a wild card team. His team is basically a wild card.
He could do really horrible, or he could do amazing, and he's just going to be,
He could run into Magoo game 1 and lose everybody. I'm
going to agree that the Legends are the wild card, but also they would be my tip to finish bottom, because I could get it wrong on one case and he could just go nuts and do random shit. It depends on how he plays his inducements, how he plays the season out, and the luck of the draw.
And when he runs across Magoo.
Yeah.
Because that's the one matchup that could break his team, and then break it to the point where it will affect the rest of the season. Any of the L's can win because they're L's. Fire Talk is a good coach because he's Skaven. He could win any game. I think it's gonna be a tight pool. I think there's gonna be halfway through 5 guys that can make the playoffs still.
Yeah, definitely.
If not all 6 of the 7 at the halfway mark, still all being in contention for the playoffs. They're
all gonna draw all season. There's just gonna be every team's gonna go 0-7-0. That's what's going to happen.
Because of its elves and the shootout nature, I don't think this isn't a lot of drawing teams.
No.
I think there's going to be but I think it's going to be all over the place. It's going to be a crazy pool. I like this pool because
it's exciting.
The 2 West pools for me I'm going to be very interested in the whole season. Again, probably because being a West Coast myself, Mike Rand, we're more familiar with these guys. So
that's why I went east. So
yeah, you probably we're gonna go through your lasers and the trips and whatever. Yeah, but this is gonna be the tightest pool. I think the other West pool was gonna be a good pool, but I think with Tarn's humans being a significant disadvantage, there's a clear bottom, and there was clearer tops. There's a couple, 3 or 4 in the middle bunched, but this one. Magoo and Teddy, I think, edge out for top 2 for me. Again, Rez is Rez, so I don't think he's a bad pick for top 2. I think against Magoo might have an advantage, and then Kemri could be crazy tough. And then then it's elf on elf, and it's who else better that day.
There we are.
It'll be the cleanest pool with all the soap,
So I've got before we finish. Because this is obviously all of it reviewed, all of it sorted out, and I'd like to say thank you to you guys for obviously helping out, all the people that have come along and watched, and that's been great.
Are we not going to pick our bottom? Are we not going to pick our bottom?
I thought we agreed that we couldn't. Oh, I did. I said the Underworld, but I think also they could be the Wonder. Yeah. Sorry, you go ahead and pick.
Yeah.
I'm fine with not picking. If I'm gonna throw a name out there, I'm gonna say the Chaos will probably be the bottom, but they're not gonna be bottom by much. It's gonna be 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 points across the. Everybody's gonna have 8, 9 points. But
yeah.
I can't. Again, this thing, like you telling me Whiskey is gonna be the worst team in this division, I can't say it. But if you told me any team here, I'll pick one. And as much as it hurts me, and I like this coach, and I like the team, but Chase, I think the Norse had it the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Norse don't have a very good matchup.
They don't have any. They'll be good against the Underworld is the only favorable matchup they have. Everything else, they're being out agility. He's got some tools to do okay versus L's. Like the L's aren't a loss, but they can easily run circles around him. Chaos, he doesn't have the strength ups I do on his team, so Chaos he's gonna get out punched. A lot of Mighty Blow on the Dwarves, he's probably gonna get out punched. He's going to have a tough time scoring against the score teams. He's going to have a tough time punching the punch teams. He's a good coach. I hope he does well, but he would be he's going to have the biggest battle.
There we are. So, as I was saying, I would like to say thank you to you guys, the people that have supported us, which is brilliant. Otherwise, it's not worth doing. But for all of the guys that have watched, I'm going to stick it on the MML news feed, so hopefully we can get something there. I think me, Rand, and the guys could potentially run a little bit of fun, a little bit of a competition that from each of the player pools, I want people to pick their first and their second, and if you get one of them, so it's two. Am I right in saying it's two promoted to the playoffs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Two go to the playoffs from each play pool.
Pick your 2 playoff coaches from each player pool, so that's what 8 player pools, so there's a maximum of 16 points there, and we'll have a little bit of fun and see who gets the most points across the season, and then maybe we'll come back at the end of the season and review the playoffs, review the divisions and how they end out, and see how that goes.
I like a little less of involved in the goblin gambling every week. A little, just pick at the beginning of the year, set it, forget it,
job done.
Check your picks at the end of it.
Well,
I will get in on that for sure.
I'll even go so far as saying I'm sure I've got some somewhere. One moment, just let me see. I've got some dice here. There they are. For anybody, because I did say I don't play tabletop, but that's absolute fucking lies. I don't know if you can see these. I've got some dice, D6 there. With I don't know if you can see, get that there with my name on it, Hawker, on the sixes. Whoever wins, I'll send those out to somebody. If you're in the States, I don't know how I'm going to manage that, but we'll have to see and we'll have to do what we can. So there you go. There's the prize, a pair of dice with my name on it, for whoever wins that gamble.
With your name on it, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. I'm winning those dice.
Early,
and I'm in North America, so
yeah, we can work that out. Let me see if I can put a picture up, on a better picture on the thing, on the group there.
Well, thanks for doing the hard work and being in all the chats, sir.
Well, I don't think it was hard work. I just sat here and talked shit with Rand. It's been great.
And I'll see you guys hopefully in the pros next year.
Yeah, that's the plan.
I'll see you guys around the league.
Let me just see if we can get this up so Rand can see. Zoom. What's wrong with this? My camera's so shit. There we go. Right, how do I get that to the screen? Can I put a picture on there? I don't even know if I can put a picture on there. Can I? Does anybody know how this Twitter stuff works?
Picture on what?
On Twitch. Can I put a picture on there? In the group? I don't know if I can.
I don't know, but you can put it. You can put it in Discord. So.
Oh, we'll do that. I'll sling it up on Discord. In fact, I'll make it as part of the post in the MML. So watch out for that, guys, and we'll get a set of dice out to whoever wins that. I can't do it every season because I got none left and be skint. But you can support the channel.
We'll figure something out for next season. Don't worry.
Where people want to support the channel, then we can start doing more stuff like this, can't we? And we can do it that way. But it has been a pleasure. I want to say thank you to you for helping us out. And what I would like to do, there was one thing we was going to talk about and look at. Have you looked to see if any of them have started yet?
No, but we can look that real quick.
They have not. We've only got the one. Thank you, Monk, Drunken Monk. 3.5 hours well spent. So we've got the best part of what, 2, 5, 10 hours nearly of reviews for people to listen about other people's teams. But I feel I know coaches better. I feel I know the teams better, and the player and the MML better. So it's been a benefit to me.
It's been for me too. I'm excited to watch a lot of games this season. And I kind of stepped away from watching games. I don't announce as much as I used to anymore either. And now I'm like, let's go. I'm going to be announcing. I'm going to be all about it.
Yeah.
Let's get this done. It'll
be
fun.
I try to. I will be twitching my games because if I'm playing, I may as well be on anyway. Hopefully, people will pick some stuff up or point some stuff out so I can learn stuff. But anybody that's willing to come on and announce is more than welcome. More than welcome. We get to talk to people we don't know, and that's brilliant. It's bringing a community together. It really is.
Exactly.
So I'm going to sign off. I got to be up for work in the morning. It's 20 to 11 here. So I'm going to wish you all good night. Thank my guys that supported us in the background. It's been amazing. Thanks, Teddy, for holding the fortress and passing the chalice. Hopefully we've done you proud, my friend. And until then, guys, good night.